Check one, check two. Check one, check two. Peace to y'all. Peace to the chat. Brother Ogun, Brother BBO, Brother Chauncey, VC Realm. Peace, Derek. Let me know how I sound. Brother Vayasa, peace. Let me know how I sound in the chat so we can get right into this. And by the way, happy Black History Month. And for those who don't know, welcome to Each One Teach One. My name is Brother Seneb, and I know it's been a while, but we thought it's only right to continue the tradition that we started years ago and continue this Black History Month challenge. And for those who are coming to assist us from Clubhouse, appreciate that on the audio. Those who are visiting us from Clubhouse, again, I appreciate you coming. And we're going to get to this here shortly, but a brief breakdown of the rules for those who missed it. Black History Month is for those of you who are interested, create a 1 to 2 slide presentation on Black history where you're from. We'll put the link in the chat, and those who would like to can come on, the stage. We'll share your screen and we'll all learn together. I saw a tweet recently from Dr. Ibrahim X. Kendi, and he said, this year Black History Month is going to be instructive. And I agree with those sentiments. It's only right because I think it's unfortunately become past sort of cliche for us to continue to give individuals and institutions to say what they did just to provide us with something to argue with in conversation. But I think it's time for us to begin to put these works in context. Why were these institutions and leaders necessary during this time period? What were they fighting? What legacy did they leave? What were they able to secure with those deeds of agitation? So I really wanted to speak to that during my little bill presentation, my contribution to the Black History Month Challenge in 2022. And I appreciate all of those who are currently and will in the future participate. If you haven't yet, and I'm sure somebody is going to for me, please check out the NBK Discord. There is a bevy of primary source papers, source material, period, on there for you to be able to download, and it's free. We don't need your cash out. We don't need your credit card number, nor your social security number for you to access any of that. So, peace to Brother Khalil. So, I wanted to speak about this climate that we're in, where voting and voting laws and adverse laws have reared their ugly head again. And people sort of, from what I see in popular culture, sort of question this idea of why are people pissed off? Why they're so abrasive to, blacks in voting? Why are there steps being taken to abridge someone's attempts to participate in the voting process? And I think when we analyze our history, we see that these tactics resemble tactics of the past that were used to sort of hinder, intimidate, abridge, and sort of prevent someone from participating in, their civil liberties of suffrage. So I'm from North Carolina, so I want to highlight something from North Carolina because, this is the Black History Month Challenge. So hold on, let me get my screen shared here. Oh, and for those who haven't, please like, share, and subscribe. Share the show. Hit the bell so you'll be notified when we go live. Let me make sure that my screen is viewable. Okay, I think that looks good. So I want to look to, and those who are interested, please follow along with me. We're going to type in the Empire, caps on, Empire that hovers over North, here we go, Carolina. So let's speak about popular culture, newspapers, and their use to sway potential voters and their ability to galvanize and perpetuate stereotypes associated with a particular voting bloc. I know y'all can't see that, so I'm gonna go ahead and blow that up, yo. Look at the chat. Is there any question? Let me see. Everybody's good. Everybody can see my screen. Okay, perfect. I can see the chat and I can see my screen. We on point tonight. So let's get into it. This article is called "The Vampire That Hovers Over North Carolina: Negro Rule." News and Observer, September 27, 1898. So it says, this cartoon by Norman Jeanette depicts an African-American vampire terrorizing a group of white men and women. The dominant theme of the image is the idea that African-American political power poses a grave danger to white society. This concept is depicted through both the ballot box on which the vampire is standing and the slogan "Negro Rule" written on the vampire's wings. It is nearly identical in context to the style of another cartoon, Negro Rule, which is printed in the News and Observer on July 4th, 1900. The similarity between the cartoons is perhaps not surprising, as white supremacist ideology was a central aspect of the Democratic platform during both the 1898 and 1900 campaigns. In fact, a number of the cartoons and editorials depicting this idea were printed in the News and Observer during both years. So that's the source for those who are interested. So let's get down to this image though. We got 16 in here. Appreciate the 16. If you haven't liked, share, and subscribe. This is the inaugural Black History Month Challenge build. We're doing these every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested, just create a 1 or 2 slide presentation about Black history, where you're from, and come on, we'll put the link in the chat and we'll have a conversation. This portion that I'm doing now, it's not too long. I definitely am ready to get some of the others in here to build. So I appreciate those who are hanging out and those who are presenting. I appreciate your patience. So let's get back into this image here. Hopefully y'all can see it. I'm sure y'all can see. I'm gonna zoom in just in case. It should be good enough. So we see here this vampire depiction, Negro Rule, printed on its wings, the typical sub-simian features, the tail, the hairy fingers. On the left side, you see, the white women running for their lives, the claws trying to grab them, white men scared as well, with the caption, "The Vampire That Hovers Over North Carolina." But I think the important part of this sort of, intimidating caricature of what a Black voter looks like is the ballot box in which this vampire is standing on. And you can see it well. It's called the Fusion ballot box. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more so y'all can see. Hopefully it doesn't distort it on the YouTube, but I think y'all can see that well. Fusion ballot box. Who were these fusion individuals? What was this fusion movement that was brewing in North Carolina during this period of time? Let's check it out. So hopefully y'all follow along with me. I'll do this fusion party and see. So we're gonna kick to the NCpedia page. Check the chat real quick. Make sure and if you got any questions about what I'm speaking about, or if I'm moving too fast, just give me a hint. I'm moving back and forth between presenting and the chat, so just let me know. Appreciate that. So let's get into fusion of Republicans and Populists. It's a little bit better. It said between 1894 and 1900, the North Carolina Republican and Populist parties cooperated in state elections and in state government. That cooperation was labeled fusion by its Democratic opponents. Although Republicans and Populists maintained separate organizations and did not describe their actions as fusions, in the middle of the late 1890s, Republican-Populist cooperation resulted in newly configured delegations from North Carolina to the U.S. Congress. Populist-Republican control over the General Assembly, Republicans and Populists in the state executive offices, and non-democratic state Supreme Court. A sufficient number of cooperationists office holders were African American. Fusion produced the only departure from the Democratic Party homogeny after Reconstruction. The origin of so-called fusion was the rise of the People's Party or Populist Party after the years of economic depression and hardships had motivated small farmers who suffered the most to take political action. They formed the Farmers Alliance, a national organization whose members subsequently became the central component of the Populist Party. North Carolinian Leonidas L. Polk was a primary leader of the Farmers Alliance in the state, voicing his concerns in his publication, The Progressive Farmer, until his sudden death in 1892. During the 1892 election, many Republicans urged cooperation with Populists. Although cooperation as a statewide strategy was eventually rejected, some Republicans and Populists agreed to support joint local candidates. In 1892, the Populist Party attracted roughly 17% of North Carolina voters. So let's see, it speaks here. Let me see, we're going to find where it gets into. Here we go. It says, by the political campaign of 1898, the sole rationale for continued Republican populist cooperation was fear of Democratic control. Predictably, the ensuing fusionist campaign was weakened by the absence of any other reason to win the election. Unable to contest the Democrats' rhetoric and violence, the cooperationists lost control of the state government forever. The success of the Democrats and the repeal of the fugitive election laws in 1899 reinforced the defensive position of the cooperationists. So this political campaign of 1898 that it's speaking of and sort of segues beautifully to what I want to highlight was the Wilmington coup of 1898. Peace to the brother True Historian, brother Dwayne, Judy Mahat. Peace to y'all brothers. So let's get into that. Hopefully y'all are following along with me. So we're gonna look at the Wilmington Race Riots. We're gonna go to the Black Past page. Hopefully everybody's still following me. Okay, we still here. So this picture that you see is suggested to be outside the courthouse that, you know, racist, white supremacists, Americans burnt down, as well as a newspaper that we're going to get to here shortly. But let's get into this Wilmington coup. A politically motivated attack by whites against the city's leading African-American citizens, the Wilmington Race Riot of 1898 documents the lift to which white Democrats went to regain political domination of the South after Reconstruction. The violence began on Thursday, November 10th, in the predominantly African-American city of Wilmington, North Carolina, at the time of the state's largest metropolis. Statewide election returns had recently signaled a shift in power, with Democrats taking over the North Carolina state legislature. The city of Wilmington, however, remained in Republicans' hands primarily because of the solid base of African-American voters. On November 10th, Alfred Moore Waddell, a former Confederate officer and a white supremacist, led a group of townsmen to force and ouster Wilmington city officials. You know, I put on the community page a couple of days ago, is it beneficial to vote, or is it important to vote? I know there's a certain portion of our population who believes that it's futile to engage in it. And my only rhetorical question, if it's futile to engage in it, why did we see historically the ops go to such lengths to prevent us from engaging in it? You know, also rhetorically, why did it take, you know, a constitutional amendment to solidify who was able for Black men, and I think it was the 19th Amendment for women, to be able to vote in this country when it never was needed before? Those are just some questions that I ponder. Let's get back to this though. Waddell relied upon an editorial printed in the African-American-owned Wilmington Daily Record as a catalyst for the riot. Alex Manley, the editor of the Daily Record, had published an editorial in early November arguing that poor white men are careless in the matter of protecting their women. Paraphrasing articles by Ida B. Wells on the subject of lynching, Manley opined that our experience among poor white people in the country teaches us that women of that race are not any more particular in the matter of clandestine meetings with colored men than white men with meeting colored women. Manley's public discussion of the taboo subject of interracial sex opposed the reality of sexual exploitation of Black women by white men and challenged the myth of pure white womanhood. 48 hours after Manley's editorial run, Waddell led 500 white men to the headquarters of the Daily Record on 7th Street. The mob broke out windows and set the building on fire. Manley and other high-profile African Americans fled the city. However, the latest 14 African Americans were slain in the city. An eyewitness later wrote that African Americans fled to the swamps or hid in the African American cemetery at the edge of town. When their criminal behavior resulted in neither federal sanctions nor condemnation from the state, Waddell and his men formalized their control of Wilmington. The posse forced the Republican members of the city council and mayor to resign, and Waddell assumed the mayoral seat. Over the next 2 years, North Carolina passed grandfather clause as one of the series of laws designed to limit voting rights of African Americans. Let me get back to the chat. Peace, brother Kamu. Peace to the brother Watcher. Okay, y'all still with me. So let's get into Alex Manley here for a second and this so-called controversial article that they used to suggest was the catalyst for this coup. Alex Manley was an editor of the Daily Record, a black newspaper from Wilmington, North Carolina. And at the time of the Wilmington Riot of 1898, Manley was born near Raleigh, North Carolina in 1866. He was reportedly of the descendant of the governor Charles Manley and Corinne Manley, a former slave in the governor's household. Alex Manley and his brothers was educated at Hampton Institute, and in 1895 he took over Wilmington's leading black newspaper, the Daily Record, with the help of his brother Frank. No, let's see if he's doing some accommodating over here. Let's get into this. In Wilmington, Manley involved himself in the community, working as a deputy registrar of deeds and teaching Sunday school at Chestnut Street Presbyterian Church. In 1897, he expanded the flourishing Daily Record from a weekly to a daily paper. With the financial backing from white advertisers and broad local subscription, the paper acted as an important voice for the Wilmington black community. He became engaged with Colleen Sagador, a graduate from Fisk University and a daughter of the prominent community leader Frederick Sagbor. In an editorial published on August 18, 1898, Manley challenged interracial sexual stereotypes, condemning white men for taking advantage of black women. His assertion that it was no worse for a white woman to be sexually involved with a black man than a black woman to be sexually involved with a white man infuriated conservative local Democrats, who were able to capitalize on white fears of interracial intimacy at the ballot box. White advertisers stopped running ads in the black paper, financially crippling the Daily Record. In the face of growing white animosity, the owner of the 7th Street office building that housed the press terminated the lease and insisted Manley move the paper elsewhere. Groups of black armed men formed to protect Manley, who had received death threats and faced the likelihood of attack by a violent white mob. On November 8, 1989, despite a heavy black turnout at the ballot box, Democrats carried Wilmington. The next day, Democrats gathered to read the White Declaration of Independence, calling for the resignation of the city's black mayor and chief of police, as well as demanding the Daily Record cease publication and Alex Manley leave town within 24 hours on pain of death. If I'm not mistaken, this is the only successful coup in U.S. history, even though a bunch of Trump supporters tried to, do the same thing on January 6th. Let me look at the chat. Okay, we good in the chat. So we just spoke about Afro Waddell, who I believe was the alderman, who, along with 500 angry white citizens, forced leading members of the African American community and killing others the day of this election. So I want to get to this thing called the White Man's Declaration of Independence, because it is the title of the room. So that's White Man. And I appreciate y'all. We got 17 in the building. If you haven't, please, let me put that in the chat. The article to the White Man's Declaration of Independence is in the chat for those who were interested in reading it. Let me zoom out of this one a little bit. The White Man's Declaration. On November 9th, 1899, a meeting of the best white citizens of Wilmington was held at the courthouse. At the meeting, Waddell read the White Man's Declaration of Independence, which called for the expulsion of Editor Manley and his printing press. The News and Observer, the Richmond Planet, took vastly different approaches to the story in this event. I think the story I want to focus on now, and we're going to go read the primary here shortly, is the News and Observer. The News and Observer on November 10th listed a resolution that agreed to at the meeting held the prior day. Resolution number 7 claimed that the editor Manley's article would have, in most communities, have resulted in the lynching of the editor. The article stated that there was no punishment provided by the laws adequate for this offense. 2, nowhere in the article did Manley threaten white women. He merely pointed out the lower class of white women were attracted to African-American men, especially mulatto men, who were sufficiently attractive for white women to fall in love with. He cautioned whites to teach you men purity. The Committee of 25 gave African-American leaders 12 hours to respond to their demands, and they did not answer, they would not help. Then the whites proposed to go in full force at 8 a.m. to destroy the newspaper plant and forcibly expel the editor. It was feared that the African-American men would attempt to protect Manley, and the article stated that if that happened, the worst can be expected. So let's get into, we're going to get into, and this is the article here, fam. I'm going to put this in the chat too. The famer must go. And the defamer must go. Okay, yeah, it's in the chat now. I see it in the chat. Oh, don't fail me now. All right, fam, let me see. Okay, y'all can see it. So we see here, it's the Raleigh. Let me see if I can go out a little bit. Okay, this is good. So the Raleigh News and Observer, Raleigh, North Carolina, Thursday morning, November 10th, 1898. Front page, the game has ended. And you see Furnifold Simmons here in his chair, firmly planted, and the individual Houghton from the opposing party on this little wobbly bar chair. What does he say? Simmons, the white men win. Houghton, the great step hold. I thought the black men would win. And this is sort of acknowledging though there was a sort of majority of black voters in Wilmington, this sort of intimidation that day, the nightly patrols of the white government union, members of the Wilmington Light Infantry participating in sort of cordoning off black voters, preventing them from going home, particularly going home while this violence was occurring. And I'm gonna give a source at the end for those who stick around that does a great job sort of documenting this day. And again, I appreciate those who are still here rocking with me. So it says the defamer must go. Mass meeting of white citizens of Wilmington passed resolutions. We're gonna zoom in more now. The expulsion of Manley. Let me see, can y'all see this? It says you don't have the pics either, Rock on. I don't know. You talking to Rob Bourne. What it say? Expulsion of Manley and resignation of mayor and chief of police. Remember, this is a coup that has happened. This is a black mayor, black chief of police are being asked to resign. Manley give 24 hours. Time for Negro domination forever pass, though they are to be treated with justice and consideration. White labor favored. So we're going to read this. It says, Wilmington, North Carolina, November 9th. There was a mass meeting of businessmen of Wilmington today, attended by fully 800 of the best white citizens, at which the following resolutions were adopted, believing that the Constitution of the United States contemplated a government to be carried on by enlightened people, believing that its framers did not anticipate the enfranchisement of an ignorant population of African origin, and believing that the men of the state of North Carolina would join in forming a union did not contemplate their descendants a subjection to an inferior race. Who are these African people that they talking about? Oh, that's the Negroes that are engaging in supposedly Negro domination in the South. So let's continue on. We undersigned citizens of the city of Wilmington and the county of New Hanover do hereby declare that we will no longer be ruled, and we will never again be ruled by men of African origin. This condition we have in part endured because we felt that the consequences of the War of Secession, i.e. the Civil War, was such as to deprive us as to fair consideration of many of our countrymen. We believe that after more than 30 years that this is no longer the cause, the time for Negro rule passed. I hope y'all are with me, fam. I hope my audio was good. I hope the visuals is good. If you can't see it, let me know. The stand we now pledge ourselves to is forced upon us suddenly by a crisis, and our eyes are open to the fact that we must act now or leave our descendants to the fate too gloomy to be born. And this is just because some Black folks are in offices and are voting. While we recognize the authority of the United States and we would yield to if exerted, we would not for a moment believe that it was the purpose of more than 60 million of our own race to subject us permanently to the fate of which no Anglo-Saxon has ever been forced to submit. We therefore believe that we represent unequivocally the sentiment of the white people of the county city, hereby for ourselves represent, I'm gonna zoom more. I wanna make sure y'all get this. First, that the time has passed for the intelligent cities of this community owning 90% of the property and paying taxes like in the proportion to be ruled by Negroes. The time has passed for them to be ruled by Negroes. Second, that we will not tolerate the action of usurpious white men in affiliating with the Negroes so that by means of their votes, they can dominate the intelligent and thrifty element in the community, thus causing businesses to stagnate and process to be out of question. Third, that the Negro has demonstrated by antagonizing our interests in every way, and especially by his ballot. I'm gonna read it again. Third, that a Negro has demonstrated by antagonizing our interests in every way, and especially by his ballot, that he is incapable of realizing that his interests are and should be identical to those of the community. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but it furthermore discusses white labor, and as the Cincinnati riots of 1829 show us that there was this population of white people, or soon to be white people, battling for resources with Black folks, who some have self-emancipated themselves and some were free. So this is following Reconstruction, family. Hold on, let me go back to the chat. So we're gonna go to something that the Democrats published. So it goes on to show Manley expelled. It said Manley to be expelled. Seventh, that we have been in our desire for harmony and peace blinded both in our best interviews and our rights, a climate which has reached when the Negro paper of this city published an article so vile and so slanderous that it would be in most communities have resulted in the lynching of the editor. This is in a newspaper. We deprecate lynching, and yet there is no punishment provided by the laws adequate for this offense. We therefore owe it to the people of this community and of this city as a protection against such license in future that the paper known as the Record cease to be published and that the editor be banished from the community. So when we, just to bring it back, let me stop sharing I ain't gonna stop sharing my screen, just to sort of bring it back. This is what we mean by when we describe systematic racism, white supremacy, for those who sort of don't realize where we're coming from with this sort of history. This is how we can describe this continuation. This is after slavery. So the question is, we free now, we're citizens, why are you still messing with us? So I think it's beneficial for us to sort of dissect at that academic level why these things happen in society and the effects of it legislatively. This is what we're talking about. So you have Black people now becoming postmen, registrar of deeds, collector of report dudes appointed by the president, such as John C. Dancy, who we're going to get to here soon, who had to flee. So these positions, these aldermen, these council members, these superintendents of schools are now being filled by those who were formerly on the plantation. And some of these positions pay well. So this idea of Negro rule and this sort of fight to keep the Negro from the ballot box is what we are experiencing today. So it makes sense. It sort of is. It really doesn't make sense. But go check out Shelby versus Holder and why I believe Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act was removed. These states that have a history of activities that were meant to abridge Black people's abilities to vote, you know, they had to get some oversight before changing these laws. That's no longer available. So just to sort of bring it to the now. But I'm gonna go real quick to something that the Democrat Party is suggested to have published. What's it called? Gloria Victory. Gloria's virtual. It ain't that. There you go. I don't know what I would think. And again, for those, we got 26 in the building. If you haven't yet, please like, share, and subscribe. Share the show if you haven't yet. Oh man, this is crazy right here. This is crazy. Hopefully y'all can see this show. Hopefully y'all can see this. This is the text that was published. What's the dude name? You know, Poland, Beauregard, Poland, and Raleigh. But it suggests that the NCPD suggested that the Democratic Party in North Carolina, who again was sort of the tip of the spear in regards to this white insurgency, this terrorism of Black people in the city of Wilmington. And I know y'all checked out the brother Rob Bourne's previous presentation on the Democratic Handbook. This is North Carolina's inception. This Democratic Handbook that sort of talks about how you disenfranchise the Negro. So I hope y'all can see this. North Carolina Glorious Victory, sketches of the able Democratic leaders and statesmen. You see the individual here blowing a trumpet, and do you see what's on this? White supremacy. This was a victory to individuals in the state at this time. So let's go. We'll get into the imagery later. We'll say that for a different bill. It says the victory of the Democratic Party in 1898 was one that will forever be historical to the people of North Carolina. For then it was the state went for white supremacy and white rule by the magnificent majority of nearly 25,000 votes, not only giving handsome majorities for the state officials, but electing a majority of Democrats to the Senate and House of Representatives, electing an assembly which indeed an honor to the grand old Democratic Party, men of brains, influence, and wealth, whose actions since the organization of the General Assembly of North Carolina for 1899 have been such as to make all members of the party feel proud of to be in fact that they were Democrats. This wasn't anything they were ashamed of. Oh man, hold up. Oh man, I'm gonna put this in the chat for y'all too. Hold up. We're gonna put this in the chat too. You know, we like providing information. So earlier I was speaking about one of the individuals that ran out of town, and that individual was John C. Dancy. So let's get into him real quick. I know we got some people. Let me get the link in the chat. 35 minutes. Okay, I'm right where I want to be. So let me blow this up. So John C. Dancy was a politician, journalist, and educator in North Carolina and Washington, D.C. For many years, he was an educator of the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church, newspaper Star of Zion, and then Zion Quarterly. Yes, the AME Zion Church had its own newspapers. In 1897, he was appointed collector of customs in Wilmington, North Carolina, but was chased out of town in the Wilmington insurrection of 1898, in part for his activity in the National Afro-American Council, which he helped found in that year and of which he was an officer. He then moved to Washington, D.C., where he served as Registrar of Deeds from 1901 to 1910. His political appointments came in part as a result of the influence of his friend Booker T. Washington. So you see these sort of positions, these Registrar of Deeds, Collector of Customs, these are the positions that Black people are beginning to fill in the late 1880s and 1890s. This is what's called as the hysteria, postmasters. So let me put this in the chat for y'all. So to sort of speak of the work of John C. Dancy, I believe it's important to speak about the Black organization that he helped and founded, and that is the National Afro-American Council, the first nationwide civil rights organization of the United States, and was created in 1898 in Rochester, New York. Before its dilution in later decade, the council provided both the first national area for discussion for critical issues for African Americans and training ground for some of the nation's most famous civil rights leaders in the 1910s, 20s, and beyond. Led by the Amazon Bishop Alexander Waters, who was the president for the first council's existence, the council attracted a wide range of African American journalists, lawyers, educators, politicians, and community activists. The council was a brainchild of the journalist T. Thomas Fortune, who was another Black person that you should have in Black History Month, whose earlier attempt, the National Afro-American League, had failed to generate momentum and disappeared in the early 1890s. The council was formed against the backdrop of violent lynchings and the increasing disenfranchisement of African American voters in the South, as we just described with North Carolina. Alarmed by the lynchings and the racial discrimination against African Americans, Bishop Waters circulated a national letter of appeal in the spring of 1898, just weeks after the burial of African American postmaster Frazier Baker in Lake City, South Carolina, by an armed mob of whites. It's because absolutely necessary that we organize to protect ourselves. Walters wrote, and more than 150 leaders across the country signed a letter, which was published in Fortune's New York Age. Some of them attended the organization's meeting in September 1898 in Rochester, following the dedication of a statue of late abolitionist leader Frederick Douglass. So let's talk about the unfortunate demise of the brother Frazier Baker. So we're going to be instructive here. We're going to sort of describe this experience for those who have an issue with knowing. Frazier Baker was an African-American teacher who was appointed as postmaster in Lake City, South Carolina in 1897 under the William McKinley administration. He and his infant daughter, Julia Baker, died at his house after being fatally shot during a white mob attack February 22nd, 1898. The mob set the house on fire and forced the family out. His wife and two of his other 5 children were wounded, but escaped the burning house and mob and survived. Frazier Baker and the appointed postmaster of Lake City in 1898, but local whites objected and had undertaken a campaign to force his removal. When these efforts failed to dislodge Baker, a mob attacked him and his family and ignited their house, which also served as the post office. So, hold on, let me put this in the chat too. So, there was comments, in chats about, what these individuals were doing. These are just preachers, these are just politicians, what's the work they were doing. This is what Black people have been combating since the 18th century in this country. Though free, there then a fight to attain civil rights and civil liberties. And when we attain civil rights and civil liberties, then there's a fight to maintain them. And there's certain vestiges of this fight that we still see and experience to this day. And it's unfortunate that we have to go to certain lengths to get those who may not know about this history to sort of, open up a book. The information that y'all saw that I provided, I put it in the chat for you. It was accessible. You ain't see me I ain't had to whip out my credit card or my Cash App to get to it. Check out our community pages. I will be posting both sources that I showed here on the community page. And check out the brother Rob Bourne's build on a Democratic handbook. I think you should read it for those who haven't yet. I mean, it's not that, it's not a big book. Let me stop sharing my screen. Hoodish Africanus piece. Are you there? Hoodish Africanus.
I can't figure this out.
Say again.
Oh, am I loud? Oh, I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know I could do it. Hey, how you doing, brother?
Hold up. Hold up.
Wow.
You know, I got this
Peace.
disability. I can't hear well. How you
So
doing?
what?
I said I had to take my earbud out. I can't hear well. I said, how you doing?
Brother, I like to say that was a beautiful.
Yeah, yo, you sound low, yo. It may be me, but you sound low.
I do. How about now?
Say something else.
Hello. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay, brother. I'll have to talk closer. I just want to congratulate you on such a great presentation.
Oh, appreciate that.
Very informative. Nah, but seriously, this also ties into. I was trying to find them. So Rob Bowen did the other part with the Negro domination or whatever. And
Yeah,
you laid the whole scenario out. And I was just telling Dehudi in the chat, I didn't know he was going to talk about it, was people were mad because basically we became the eyes of the towns after Reconstruction now. We made a play because Frederick Douglass got put as recorder of the deeds. And so that means for any interactions that go on in town, who now holds the records for it?
yeah,
We would.
we would.
And then as far as the mail and the things are moving, that's the postman, right?
Right.
And so then they started saying, well, when the white women were coming to the post office, that the postmen were trying to attack them and looking at them like lustfully and all this stuff. Then they were saying they didn't want the postman. What does he have to do? He has to go house to house to deliver this stuff.
Hey, yo,
So
I'm about to go grab the book real quick. They got the lady name in it that was doing those speeches about the rape thing. Hold on.
well, she becomes the first senator, female senator from Georgia. Actually, it's a whole committee of them. It's like 9 people involved. But it also ties into people who've seen the stuff on the channel with the Coon era, because the images that, if Seneb, do you have one? I'll show you. If not, I gotta look for them. Or of this coon, the same one that's on the cover of the song sheets that I've shown in the previous videos. It's that same character that they put, and this is the figure that they say is gonna come and kill them and rape their girls, daughters. And so this fusion party takes place where the poor white farmers team up with the blacks in Wilmington and a lot of other towns, right? And so what happens is, to break up that union, they start making up stories of how black men are raping white women. But the one that they choose, because it goes back to older myths and stuff like that, is the story of the farmer's daughter. Why? Because on those farms and whatever, she has no protection if it's her and just daddy. And she's supposed to be loose. And so these black men come by, and those are the ones that they were attacking. And I was trying to say in the chat, this is where the Daisy Duke stereotype and type of thing comes from, and how the farmer's daughter was supposed to be the slutty girl who would just do anything, right? So anyway, that becomes the myth. They put these stories in the newspapers around the country that the black men are allegedly raping these white women, and then that starts to create the sentiment. And so this is why Ida B. Wells is important for people who know about her and should know about her, is what she's fighting against, these stories that they're lying about to make excuses to then lynch us. Bueller.
Yep, we here. Mic check in the building. Mic
Mic
check in
check.
the
We
building.
here.
So I'm just trying to give the background, and some people, so I was trying to tell the who did it. So the Illuminati part, folks, as I keep saying that, is the title is Recorder of Deeds. And I need people just to think about that. That's the title, that's the position that we have in government. So think about it when you're going to buy a house and find out who owes the back taxes and this and that one, in the municipal offices in all of these towns, not just Wilmington.
So Rebecca Latimer Felton.
Hmm.
Rebecca Latimer Felton. That's the
Right, and look what she becomes. Like I said, she's the first woman senator, right?
right.
And she's the one that's starting all the rape stuff. So they get together with the owners of the newspapers and the artist I even have. His name is Jenner, I believe, and he creates those coon images. So he gets Jenner to create them in the newspapers. That's why there's, I think, 11 of them. You on that site, there's probably like 3 or 4 of them, but there's like 11 of them, and they circulate because why? This is an illiterate population of people. These are farmers and what have you. Have that, so same tactic. A picture is worth 1,000 words. So it's not the articles that you're reading from. It's those that they took those big images like that and slapped them on there. And
So
then well, hold on, because this is important. Seneb mentioned it. So what happens? The black dude was fighting back in his newspaper, and he starts getting at them. I think you read it. And so he creates this article, and they cause a whole set shit off, and then they use that as motivation for eventually coming to the town with the Gatling gun.
Yeah, the Manly article.
Right. Right. So that's his newspaper. That's the black newspaper. But then remember, all of these other newspapers are getting together to now try to break up the Fusion Party. So now they've got the farmers who have now turned against the black people. And they're saying, look, they're going to rape your daughter. They're going to do this. So the farmers begin to turn against them. And then it leads up to that coup d'etat.
so is this based off of actual rape or just black men having sex with white women? Let's get down to this.
So I can't really get down to it because I got a whole, honestly, it's a 3-hour presentation. Shit goes back
Yeah,
to
it's
myth and
very
it goes back to myth and fairy tale from way, way, way back in time. But this idea of the farmer's daughter in that particular role is something that is ancient. I can prove that. But it works its way through societies in various ways. But they use that same sentiment as the premise. This is what I'm trying to get at. So you say, okay, why are they lynching all these people? These are the reasons. And they're not just lynching anybody in particular. Look who they're lynching: the postman and the recorder of deeds and this, that, and the other. And then they're using it to just blame uh, us because we don't have jobs. This is where the vagrancy and the loitering things come in to say, oh, you're up to no good and you're messing around with these white girls. Now, the most innocent thing, thinking a Klan tactic, is the white woman. But in this instance, it's flipped to the daughter, the farmer's daughter, Daisy Duke, because she's on those farms in North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, whatever, what have you. What? Think of the scenario. She doesn't have brothers. She's vulnerable by herself, whatever. That's real things. That's what they preyed upon.
So you
All of this
taking
stuff
them
to come
away?
back.
So you taking away the song? Look at them girls in the Daisy Dukes, huh? That's gone now, huh?
No, I'm telling you to go back and understand what you see when you see the Dukes of Hazard and all that stuff that is represented. And that's the culture. And Daisy Duke is a stock character. It's the same thing like the coon and the gangster Negro thing. It's a stock character that isn't in our history. And it has to do, in a lot of instances, with Joe behind getting hung from trees. And once again, this is what Ida B. Wells is fighting against.
Okay, so just to be clear, it's a myth. Black people were never raping them women.
Now, what they would do, this is where the mob rule come in, was they would go and this posse comatose and other sovereign stuff that they would pull, basically come and snatch you up out the jail and play judge and jury and then lynch you before any justice could take place. So in a lot of cases, there was no trial. They said, no, we want them or we're going to tear the whole town down. So they then take you out of the jail and they decide your fate, which is usually what Billie Holiday sung in Strange Fruit. So this is what's going on. So what we're then saying is we want to have anti-lynching laws. For why? So it will be a way for us to at least try to get some due process because now that particular process of mobocracy and just snatching us out of these jails without a trial will become a federal crime, which would then require federal oversight, which is the same thing that they did, which was Reconstruction. This is why they fight back against anti-lynching laws, because that means federal oversight. And that dates back to Reconstruction. That's it?
Yep.
Nah, man, that shit is nothing. You gotta let that marinate for a minute.
I want to see that presentation though. You know what I mean? I don't think you need to let that go.
Yeah, well, it goes by. I could tell you a part of it. So Rob Bowen started part of it. He just doesn't have the whole thing. So it does go into what you have with Negro rule and Negro domination and those things. But it plays out for the populace or the masses in a way, and it's one of the things that you got on the screen with images like that. But there's significations, like you can see now that you know how to break down these images. There's words on all of the particular things, right? What is he hitting him with? Oh, he's hitting him with something that says ballot.
I mean, that's why. Yeah, I wanted to discuss it real quick because I've become fond of these illustrations now.
Right, because it's like the Illuminati breakdown. I told you.
You are now introduced to the secret decoding of the North, my brother. Welcome.
It's like I feel like Ralphie from the Christmas Story movie. I got the little decoder pen, but you can see here they use these illustrations to describe the time. But this idea of Negro rule being slapped off this guy's head with a ballot,
correct,
by the honest white man, is sort of assisting painting this picture and making disparaging comments about Black people as if we're not honest citizens and we're these subhuman creatures.
Wait, hold on.
They're talking to other white people.
Right. So if they're talking to other white people, this is what we call signification, right? So if I tell you and you then go back to Thomas Nast, and you understand how Thomas Nast creates the image of Santa Claus that you have in your head right now, and various other ones, right? So you understand how Boss Tweed goes down is because Thomas Nast draws an image that stuck with the people, and he got tired of being a crook. So when you just show those images get tied to certain things. So that coon face and black face is signification, because this is what political cartoons are. But I'm saying all this to say you're talking to a highly illiterate population. They're not going to read the articles that you were reading from on the side part, but they will see that big image slapped in the middle of page 1. And you pick up your newspaper, and what picture slapped on the page 1 today? Is it not your ass? With some sensational headline? Yes? See? Same game. It's not the article inside, it's Wilding on the cover of the paper. So with political cartoons and what the key is, it doesn't change. It's right now in your local newspaper today. Pull that image back up. Same thing. Well, this is in a different way, because this goes back to, what is this? Is it the Greek or Roman with this statue thing, and somebody sits on a statue like that? I got this whole breakdown, but all those are different events or whatever. And as you can see, the guy in the background.
Yeah. By the way, you've been holding on to stuff too. I know you got some of this stuff up there, but
Dehudi is in the chat, and he knew me from day one. I've been holding on to a lot of stuff. You don't get that part?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you think you do. That's you and Rob Bowen problem. Y'all think, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm holding on to a lot now.
Yeah, that's what your mouth say, bro. All that sound good.
But I got the picture on the monument joint up. But this is beforehand. This is 1866, I believe. Yes. But it's that Thomas Nast painting that depicts what was going on during this period of time. Like the orphan asylum on fire, the Irish immigrant with the with the shillelagh.
Right. Do you see the black people hanging from the light post?
Yeah, the black man hanging from the light pole. The in front of the Freedman School, there's a black person hanging on fire. Hold on, I'm gonna zoom in for the people can see.
There you go.
What's the date of this?
I think it's 1866 by Thomas Nast. Yeah, but you see the joints here, the Colored Orphan Asylum, the Memphis massacres, the New Orleans massacres,
And then if you go up top, there's the hero, right? So now you have what? Now you are coming home after war. Think of what's the one where they jump out the garbage can. So you're coming home after war, and look at you. You see, that's a soldier. It says
Yep.
the U.S. got a stain. That's why only reason a black man will have a gun. Look at it, and you can see the U.S. thing, and he has something in his lap, and he got his canteen over there. And so now they're signifying because that's supposed to give him his freedom. You see the chains are broken right there. That's why the chains are there. So all those things are signifying to an illiterate population. Political cartoons are in your newspaper today. In the Atlanta Constitution and Journal tomorrow will be a political cartoon, probably about Biden or Russia or something.
So, do black people have political cartoons?
Yeah, that's where Oliver Harrington and Sam Millay and other people come in.
I'm talking about in this time period.
In the 1860s. So it will start with the newspaper, the Indianapolis Freeman. They'll start putting images in there. And then eventually the Pittsburgh Courier will do it. And the Pittsburgh Courier will become the main one to do it. And then the Amsterdam and the New York Age catch on too. And then we'll have it, but primarily Pittsburgh Courier because you got Dr. Clark and J.A. and all the writers writing. So the younger artists are doing the images in those newspapers.
Oh, so you all the way in the 1900s. Nothing in the 1800s.
Yeah, the Indianapolis Freeman. If you look it up, it's like the 18. What's that? Seneb, 1880s somewhere in there.
For which one?
The Indianapolis Freeman. It's a black newspaper, and it's like the
Oh, I
first
gotta look
one to
it up.
start putting images in there with artists. And they do some early cartoons before the Pittsburgh Courier starts getting into the political cartoons that you're talking about. And like I say, that's like who's Oliver Harrington and Sam Millay and a couple other artists like that.
Hey, hope you guys
I'm
are out.
gonna put the link in the chat, yo, for those who wanted to present or are able to present. If you don't got it ready, it's all good. We can do it next Friday. Or if there's a special request, I'll make myself available and accommodate those who want to build outside of those time frames. But I hope that those who joined us, the 25 that's here, peace to bro Rob in the chat, peace to brother Gullah, those who were here, got something that you didn't have before. And I believe the Daily Record was the America's first black-owned daily newspaper. But I'm gonna hold that for a different time. I just want to.
No, I said the Indianapolis Freeman as far as drawings. Let's be clear, family. Please don't
Daily
make me go to the
newspaper.
crowd.
Listen, man.
But
I
you know,
know
I'm
you
gonna keep
guys
that.
always
I'm gonna
gonna be
keep that in
thinking
the
of
tuck.
find
You
ways
know,
to subtly try to jump out the window. So, like I
no,
said,
man,
I was going
it's
to
a good
ask in
snare.
regards to artistry and the political cartoons, and I was trying to
Somebody
some of
sneeze
the
on him.
yeah.
Sneeze.
So I stand by the two newspapers that I said. Did you Google them?
Google which one? The Indianapolis Freeman.
Yeah, I believe that is the name.
This team kind of somber, man. Could you give
Indianapolis
us a
Freeman
story of somebody getting?
it says 1926. The Indianapolis Freeman.
Oh man,
No, that's not what
that's
I'm
late.
talking about. No, it says 1884. Don't
Indianapolis
try to
Freeman.
play me, nigga.
Looks like
I'm
you wrong,
just
brother. Put it on the
Actually, it
screen,
says
Seneb. Put it on the
1884, but I'm
screen.
looking at it right now. So I'm going to put it in the rest of the
send me
chat.
put the
The
link
rest
in
of
the
the
chat
people
and I'll
can
pull
see
it
it.
up.
Okay,
Show
I'll
you. I
put
ain't
it in
trying
the
to.
chat so the rest of the people in there see how they try to play me
Man,
out.
I'm
Caught
gonna
this
show
on
you how I'm
national
being real
TV,
with you.
folks.
Did that not say
How do I
Indianapolis
hit
Freeman?
paste?
Like I'm
Paste.
1884.
Oh, no. Here we go. Like I said, folks. There you go. Is it in there? Why don't I see it in there? There it is. It's in there.
Yeah, you should be able to see it. It's on the screen now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you already put it in the chat. Cool. What was the other one you wanted me to look up?
I No, this is the answer Ron Bourne says. Unlike
Oh,
other black newspapers that reprinted photographs, woodcuts, and drawings at the time, the Freeman had a full staff of African American artists dedicated to producing original illustrations for the newspaper. So before we move on, I want to be clear. I said the Indianapolis Freedmen, Rob Bourne, to answer your question about the artist. And this is the one that was the first one, Seneb. And they have a full time staff.
That's
Then
cool.
I said that is until the Pittsburgh Courier and the Amsterdam News start to do it, and they really propel as far as political cartoons with Oliver Harrington and Sam Millay and others. Shall we go on?
No, I just wanted to know. And in that paper, did we make political cartoons to represent our ideas and laugh at them? But that doesn't happen till later on down the line. I got it. That was all.
Yeah, and then like I say, probably seriously, but the Pittsburgh Courier probably is gonna be at the forefront, and the Amsterdam News of that. Um, and then later, what's the one that stood around? The Baltimore, what is it, Afro American or something like that?
yeah, the Afro American in Baltimore.
Yeah, they do it later. And then of course, oh, actually, the Defender does it too pretty early. Chicago Defender. Yeah, they do. The Defender does it early.
Never. I learned my lesson from the Malcolm X Liberation University. Never again, Rob Bourne, will I let that happen.
Well, what happened?
When he sabotaged my show, I had a good show. He came on the next day and talking about the damn Malcolm X Liberation University.
Oh yeah, that was violation.
That was a
That was
violation, man.
yeah, that was definitely violation. I don't know why he
Wait,
did that.
wait,
And
go
real
back.
quick, family, I'm gonna put this link in the chat for y'all so y'all can have a copy of the this black newspaper in Wilmington called the Wilmington Record.
Right. So I
We like
want
to
you to go back
provide
to that. Go
sources.
go back to the site you shared
Which one?
because I want to go through those images. I think that site has some of the images so you can see the coon images
Of
from the newspapers. I think the artist's name is, what is his name, Jenner or something like that. Jennings or Jenner. He drew the images. So I
hold
said,
on,
don't do drugs. You start remembering like the artists and stuff like
hold on.
that.
I can't
Real
show you
famous.
can't give away the archive. I see how y'all black Yankees get down now.
With what? I know not what you speak of, brother.
I know.
Danny, did you look at that Florida stuff, man?
You talking
I
about the
did.
guy that drew the North Carolina pictures, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
think his
Yeah,
name is what, Jenner or Jennings?
Norman Jeanette or something like that.
Jeanette. There you go. So if you have any of those images, pull up them and
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
just
about to
show
pull
you
him
what
up
I
now.
mean.
I don't know if he did all of these, but
He did. Let me see. I'll show you. I can tell you which ones he
see
did.
this one here, Jim Young.
Wait, hold on.
Yo, these are
Come on.
crazy,
Wait,
yo.
hold on. Where you at? Where's the thing at? Okay, no, he do those. I'm not sure if he did those.
No, he didn't. He did this one.
Okay, so yeah, keep going. Not those. Not that.
Yo, did you read this one though? This stuff is crazy.
Yeah, no. We know. I know. We gonna get to that.
No, which one? Which one you
Okay,
talking about?
cool. There we go. So you got a lot of them. So you can go right
The
there.
one with the Bigfoot.
No, yeah, wait, hold on. We'll get to the big one. The one beside that first. Right there. There you go. So you see when I show you the song sheets and I show you the significations about paste diamonds and that hat in the lips, look at the images they draw of them. Okay, this is the coon era. So these images are the same images that are on song sheets and the coons that they sing about in those May Irwin songs. So this gangster image being put into the mind of popular culture, you get it through the songs, through the song sheets, and now visually once again in newspapers reinforcing this, and then those characteristics you're already putting on the black humans that you come in contact with.
Yeah, I'm gonna read the caption to this. It says Dockery and his supporters. Sidelights of Republican Judicial Convention showing candidate for solicitor speaking to the delegates who nominated him. And again, these are the black delegates who nominated him. And you see, as you speak to,
Right. So it's all significations, everything from that shiny thing right there, because niggas like shiny things. So that's been in there since the beginning. Those are called paste diamonds, and they're associated with the coon and what have you. So go back to the next one. Now we can see the other attributes, which is going to be okay, that one right there.
which one?
Click on the right one with the shoe. Okay, now open up another tab and go to May Irwin's Bully song.
Whose name is on the cuff link of that pants?
It says the Negro.
Says the Negro.
Because
Negro
that
and the white man.
somebody in particular, and that shoe is done like that for a reason. I'm gonna show you. You got it now.
The May Urban, yeah, so
You just go. Let me see. I can't. Am I looking at the right screen?
you
Yeah.
mean the Bully song cover joint.
Yeah. Where is it? You see it, Rob Boy? Is it just me?
Yeah, it should be showing now.
Nah, I don't see it. I only see the
Oh,
big
my
foot.
bad. My bad. I gotta share that screen. My security is all on point.
Oh God.
Yep. Don't make a Rob Bourne mistake, my nigga.
Still got a Kaspersky CD security and some shit.
The Bully song.
So look at the shoes right there. Okay. So if you understand, and those shoes go back even further, that's the shoe. That's another signification of what I'm talking about. And look at the era. What year did this wait? Go scroll up, see what year the song came out.
1896.
Okay, is that the same era that we're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
1898, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now go back to this image. So go back to the show people. There you go. Show people the cover. So this is in popular culture and one of the most popular songs in the country. This is sung by a white woman, and the lyrics are horrifying. And yes, that's a razor in his hand. Everybody's singing this song and trying to be the rough and tough nigga. So
I'm gonna eat your food. Here comes that grand old nigga.
So go back, show his shoes one more time. Look at his outfit. Show his shoes one more time. Okay, now let's go back to what you had in your
Nah, man, them shoes don't look like them other shoes. Them shits is beat up. Nah, you reaching with that, bro.
Okay, so then,
you reaching, brother.
Seneb, I want you to go to what? The coon that had the razor. And go to that cover. Since Rob Warren wants to play this game, we can do this. Okay, so anyway, yes.
Total different shoe, my brother.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You just made that up. You just did a
okay, now go to the coon that had the razor, Seneb, and look at his shoes. No, the song.
The shoes are similar to shoes worn by the Negro. I get your point.
I could agree with that. But
not
it ain't that shoe,
not just by the Negro, but to that what they're trying to signify. That's why the shoe is a huge shoe. And that's the shoe that they use for a reason.
Oh, we're still looking, Danny. I think you pulled.
Looking at what?
You're looking at the screen.
Okay, so am I.
Oh, I'm just clicking on pictures until you give me.
No. So what I want to do is go back to the one with the shoe because there was a point I was trying to tell you.
The dude, the Mary Irvin cover.
No, this one right here. That's fine.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Yeah, that second pic.
Where am I at?
The Negro. And on the bottom, white man.
Right.
Yeah,
So
so
it's just another version of that. What's going to happen? He's going to rule you. So that's the Negro rule once again, the whole thing.
What
Right.
does it say on the bottom?
So it's the
All the way on the bottom.
Negro question,
it says a serious question: how long will it last?
Woo!
which is the
Woo!
Negro rule.
Which is
Woo!
Negro rule. How long we gonna let these Negroes be postmasters
And people
register of
of
deeds, port collectors?
the government positions. Now
Where's it
you're a
at?
federal employee, so you'll get federal protections if we do something to you. Uh-oh.
White girls proving witness tickets before a Negro deputy clerk of
So what I
court.
was saying, like I said, y'all, now these are the farmers' daughters of this type that I'm talking about. And you see the interaction. And so now these and types said, do you want your white daughters along with these niggas? You get it? Which then leads to them like crafting stories that these are the ones raping the girls. And so
I'm gonna read.
this is what the
Yeah, read the
step.
bottom. Read the
I'm gonna read the
bottom.
bottom. It says,
Danny be freestyling.
and this occurred in Wake County at July 1898. Term of Wake Superior Court. Two little white girls, Miss Patty Williams, age 11 years, and Miss Annie V. Browning, age 14 years, witnesses in a case of the state versus Browning, had to prove their witness tickets before Andrew J. Rogers, Negro Deputy Clerk of Wake County Superior Court.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, yo. We're going to pull this up. Go ahead.
I mean, how you want it? Because I see Rob Warren really want to get into it.
What you got? What Rob on got?
I'm saying though, because
This is good information. This is a somber type of show. I want the show where the black people is killing the motherfuckers. That's what I want.
nah, it's not even that because it's
Yeah,
important
we did
because
that.
this is a lot of the symbolism that people are gonna see, and if Seneb and all these other people are gonna be showing these pictures, we might want to slow it down and see. You know, we gonna be missing stuff.
Nah, them pictures is dope though.
So
Especially that
Seneb,
goddamn Liberty picture, bro. That shit is crazy, bro.
Seneb, I will share part of it with you since you asked. Could you go to your Wikipedia machine so the people who are watching this now and later can go to this because this is part of what I'm talking about. Now, like you go to your Wikipedia machine and then put in the words "farmer's daughter."
Oh man, I seen this one. Book Farmer's Daughter.
No, it's going to be like a stock character, as you can see, just like the Coon and Daisy Duke.
Farmer's Daughter. Hold up.
Could you please read that to the general public and go through that?
Farmer's Daughter. I'm trying to find it. The Farmer's. Oh, I'm gonna share it so everybody can see. The Farmer's Daughter or Farm Girl is a term for a stark character and stereotype in fiction for the daughter of a farmer who is often portrayed as a desirable and naive young woman. She is described as being an open-air type and public-spirited who will tend to marry a hero and settle down.
And so, what's associated with what's associated? Wait, hold on. Listen,
Sexual
Rob, because
behavior.
it gets better. What's
Sexual
associated with her?
sexual behavior. The character has historically often formed the basis for a series of jokes known as farmer daughter jokes, which tend to be sexual in nature and focus on actual promiscuity.
Stop. Who did the black people join with for the fusion party?
The farmers.
Okay, keep going now.
A French story describes a farmer's daughter who couldn't bear to hear about the F word. In the story, the farmer's daughter is rendered physically ill by the very mention of vulgarisms. So she and her father, farmhand, come upstairs with euphemisms referring to his man parts as a horse and her female parts as a spring. At the end of the story, however, she instructs him to water his horse in her spring, implying that she is unwilling to speak vulgar words, but readily performs the acts.
Okay, now read the first sentence. But hold on, Rob Bourne. Hold on, Rob Bourne. It gets better.
Yo.
Read the first sentence in the next paragraph.
Hold on.
Right there. Yeah, the plot.
It said the plot of The Farmer's Daughter jokes often involves the seduction of the daughter by another stock character, the peddler.
Uh-huh.
The concept of the farmer's daughters having sex with an itinerant traveling salesman is particularly prominent in American retellings, where they are closely associated with Ozark culture.
Right,
And
so
where
that's the
some,
whole Ozark thing. But now they got this farmer's daughter under duress by being attacked. Now becomes vicious. But now insert coon.
yeah,
Do you understand? I'm not just. This is what's going on, yo.
What did it say? Coon. It said something else. Who? What was that word that it was?
Brother, that's the character. Who is they saying that the
They said it's
people
the
are raping?
peddler. Who's the peddler?
The peddler. This is for the foreigner because the
okay,
Eastern Europeans are coming out. They could be the Jew or anybody just coming through town. The vagrant, the
yeah.
49er, whoever.
I'm just trying to be right and exact, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but they would be typically Jews because Jews would be the peddlers or the people who are coming from that region.
Melanated goddess in the building.
So you see, that's what it is. So when then you go back and you see the images and the stories of this girl being raped and not being raped or whatever, that's what it's crafted around.
Damn.
Mary
So
Spencer
now,
Gurry
so
wrote a book
now I'm
about
looking
that, I
at.
believe. I think it's called
So
Black Resistance, White Law, where she
so wait a
details
minute. Wait a minute. What about Little House on the Prairie? That's a farmer's daughter.
Little House on the Prairie doesn't have that interaction. They're
Yeah, I
different
don't think that's
people
in there.
because they're supposed to be in like Minnesota, I think, and that's a whole different type. That's supposed to be like the yeoman farmer coming up through his Protestant work ethic nonsense. That's a little bit different.
Wow. I
Yeah,
can't
I ain't
believe I
even
remember
watched
So
Little
it.
no,
House on
I've
the
it's
never
the
Prairie.
heard of it
farmer's
though.
daughter is Daisy Duke. So I'm
She's
saying
she's the farmer's daughter, yes.
yes. So I'm saying yes, and that's who they're saying that these black men are going and doing all this stuff to.
But is it the promiscuous farmer's girl who's going at them?
It doesn't matter, and that will never matter. Do you think the farmer's going to admit to that?
Yeah, they don't care about that.
See, once again, to
I mean,
strip
that type of thought
history
got
from
Alex Manley
characters
ran out of
and
town.
myths. So you don't have they're dealing with an illiterate population once again, and our culture has these stories and these stereotypes and these stock characters that constantly get rebranded, just like today.
So who's the thug?
Who's the thug? They have a guy doing was it pushing peas, and he did a video that's on TikTok from inside of a prison. What do you mean? It's pretty clear.
Who's the gangster?
Uh, you call it. They got you to play the role that they were playing before.
Nah, not me. I'm not a gangster. Never
Right.
was.
Your people.
So are you trying to say that we've been made weak and wicked and mentally grafted into a different type of people? Is
No, I'm
that
not.
what you saying?
No, I'm not saying that during Black History Month, brother. I'm telling you, through all of that, those people of Wilmington triumphed, and through the ashes of what they did, we then created, like Seneb mentions, black colleges and Malcolm X universities, and through all of that. So I'm telling you, every time they try to do it, the phoenix rises from the ashes. So every February, we should rise these people from the ashes and resurrect them as beacons of light to tomorrow, brother.
Yo, this dude said beams, resurrect them to beams of light. I'm done, yo.
I said beacons of light. Let's be real.
Okay, beacons of light. You down with the scam guard again? I knew
I
it
ain't
was
down with
coming.
nothing.
He threw it, son.
That's all I'm trying to tell you. Yes, the hoodie, that's in all the flicks, everything. Mm-hmm.
Goddamn farmer's daughter.
Oh, the story gets even crazier than that. That's only a small part of it. I got this, yo, Seneb, I got it broken down to all the characters and show you the nightmares, yo. So with all that, I think it's important it didn't show if you guys can pull up Ida B. Wells and show where she comes into the picture. That's why I keep mentioning her. because she begins to get pushed back from some of the black men because she's going so hard to try to get these anti-lynching laws and things in place. And some of your leaders, Booker T and others, are kind of pushed back against her vigor.
Excuse me. What did you say? I
I
couldn't hear
said,
you.
I said Booker T and others start
Okay.
pushing back against some of her vigor. That's what I said. Uh-huh.
All right, I'm back.
So yeah, I was just saying, since you're back, if you could pull up Ida B. Wells, because I don't, this is an opportunity to bring a black woman forward. She's super instrumental in
Yo,
this.
that work said that True South Delta tank correct tonight. Yeah, this shit is too somber for me, man. It's too
What you mean?
Yo, that work
Ida
said
B.
that
Wells
work
is
just
a
said
fighter.
that work just said True Sound Delta tank correct tonight.
Listen, man. Things ain't been going right. They done slipped some more indica strains up in me or something. And it's man.
What y'all up here trying to turn up?
No, I was just saying, yo, seriously, pull up Ida B. Wells so people
Yeah,
can
she
see.
on the screen.
Oh, she is? I'm sorry.
Yeah, she on the screen.
So what's her
Ida B.
secret?
Wells, a prominent journalist, activist, and researchers in the late 19th and early 20th century. In her lifetime, she battled sexism, racism, and violence. As a skilled writer, Wells Burnett also used her skills as a journalist to shed light on the conditions of African Americans throughout the South. Ida B. Wells was born in Holly Springs, Mississippi, July 16, 1862. She was born into slavery during the Civil War. Once the war ended, Wells Barnett's parents became politically active in Reconstruction-era politics. Her parents instilled in her the importance of education. Wells Barnett enrolled in Rusk College, but was expelled when she started a dispute with the university president. In 1878, Wells Barnett went to visit her grandmother. While she was there, Wells Barnett was informed that a yellow fever epidemic had hit her hometown. The disease took both Wells's parents and her infant brother. Left to raise her brother and sister, she took a job as a teacher so that she can keep the family together. Eventually, Wells Barnett moved her siblings to Memphis, Tennessee. There, she continued her work as an educator. Then talk about in 1884, Wells Barnett filed a lawsuit against a train car company in Memphis for unfair treatment. She had been thrown off a first-class train despite having a ticket. Although she won the case on local level, the ruling was eventually overturned in federal court. After the lynching of one of her friends, Wells Barnett turned her attention to white mob violence. She became skeptical about the reasons of black men were being lynched, and she set out to investigate several cases.
Right. So right there is what we're talking about. I said that they were not getting trials. They were being accused of rape and being pulled out of the jails and being lynched.
Right.
And this is what she was saying. Her friends got caught up in that. Okay. So those are what you're seeing in the newspaper and the trumped up charges, and the easiest way to get the crowd aroused is black man and did something to a little white girl, right?
Yeah, that's also the argument that their constitutional rights are being abridged because they're not getting due process. They're being lynched.
Right.
And again, nobody's going to jail for it.
This was the push to make it have a federal law so that federally the government will have to prosecute and deal with it. And this is what they fight against. This is why they didn't want to make a lynching. They think of it. It's like, why won't they just pass a law saying you can't lynch people? Because then that would mean that the federal government will actually, get involved. They don't want that, even to this day.
Well, that's when you hear states' rights. That's that conversation. The state's going to be left alone in their ability to. And again, I mentioned Shelby versus Holder. I'll probably pull it up, but describing Section 5 that those states who historically have a history of prejudice, election laws, had to sort of have some type of federal oversight before those laws can be passed. Now, you can check out the 2016 Supreme Court decision on North Carolina's laws. I'll put that in the chat here in a second. And like with surgical precision, quote unquote, is how they describe laws in North Carolina following the repeal of Section 5. So it's important to sort of know this stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm put the link in the chat.
All right, so hold on. See if I feel like being nice. If I could just pull this up.
Oh, and the filibuster too. Thank you.
So how do you let me share my screen?
You should be able to share.
How do I do that? I don't see that. Where's that part at?
We ain't been up here in a minute. I think you should be able to, at the bottom, you should be able to share.
Which one? It says.
What option do you have at the bottom? You should have mute.
Share.
Really?
Yeah, that's racial, right? Isn't it? I got chat.
They don't give me any options for you to allow you to share either.
No, it's a lot of racism going on today.
Yeah, I think so.
Because
you used to be able to share on here as somebody just.
You can see my newspapers clippings, right? I gave you access, right?
Not on this machine, no.
Because I have all these farmers' daughters clippings that I can show people. I have them all from newspapers, but
No. I want to see them first. No.
You want to see?
No, we ain't showing that. We got 4 more Black History Month challenge shows, so we'll bring them out eventually. I want to see them joints.
No, because I know people he just keeps saying it. No, I literally have like 100 examples of what I'm.
Yeah, I want to see them joints. Thank you, Slick. Nope. I told you I learned my lesson from the Malcolm X joint. Yeah, I wanted to again. I'm gonna show this Negro. Let me share my screen real more time for y'all because we got 23 up in here. I showed the vampire that hovers over North Carolina, but there's also a Negro rule.
Okay, so you on Wikipedia still?
I'm about to go to the what you call it.
Go to Wikipedia again real quick.
All right, well look, let me share Wikipedia. Which one we look up on Wikipedia?
Dracula.
Dracula Wikipedia. All right.
When does it come out?
1897.
When does it come out?
1897.
What year was that newspaper?
Well, the first one was 1898.
Okay. Do you understand what is in popular culture?
Yeah, I mean,
what is in popular culture?
That's how you describe the times.
Okay, so this is what is people having fear all over the world, being scared of now, because what just came out?
Yeah, the Dracula movie the book just came out.
Wow, which is the same thing as the movie, right? This is fresh. There ain't no other Dracula before this. Now this thing came out. So now go back to your image. Happy Black History Month, folks. That's how you put that together. Now click on that.
So, that's the guy, Norman Jeanette.
There you go. Yes, Norman Jeanette does this.
So I showed y'all earlier on in the presentation the one from 1898, but this one in particular was ran in 1900.
Okay, so what is in popular culture and what do you have here?
Let me get back to the chat.
Do you not have Dracula, the vampire, or Blackula, if you will, right here? So it is one that, and it's another character that I don't know if I'm going to give you guys, but yes, that's because that is in popular culture everywhere on the planet. And that is what people now have nightmares about. Get it?
Yeah. Man. There's another one too. Let me see if I can find that one. Oh yeah, this the other joint. And it's quick too. Y'all should have y'all information up too, because it should be that quick just to. It says this cartoon was used in a campaign for the ratification of the North Carolina Disenfranchising Constitution. It pictures the org Negro domination rising out of the third-party ballot box, illustrating the Southern fear of Negro balance of power in the event of white disharmony. And this is from the Raleigh News and Observer, July 4th, 1900. So, again, I asked that question on the community page, is voting important? And if it's not important, why would they go to these lengths to not only just to prevent the Negro from disenfranchising them, socially, but the violence that also came with, i.e., the Wilmington coup of 1898. So,
because if there's an equal playing field and just a little of us, the farmers, go with them, the remnants of the slaveholders will lose grip. And now they're getting municipal government jobs. And if you get locked into getting municipal government jobs, then the nefarious acts that we want to do in the South cannot take place, because it'll just be like a form of another government oversight if the Negroes become the recorders of deeds, and next thing you know, they want to sit on juries and want to be judges, and then they'll be judging us, and then, no, we can't have that. You'll be free, but you'll never be equal. So now. So now that you have withdrawn your government troops, and this whole Negro rule is getting a little bit too scary for us, the South shall rise again, right?
but this idea that we never formed a third party ballot box, like the critiques that I hear on,
A third party in this case.
Yeah, is the fusion. It's the fusion
Okay,
part.
so yeah, but that was a brilliant move because it came down to a numbers game.
And it was beneficial because Black people were farmers too. So
right, and we couldn't do it on our own with the numbers, or else why would we need to fuse? We just make sure we get all our people voting. So yes, we have numbers, but we still need some of their numbers to make it work. And thus why you even have a fusion party. And the farmers see some benefit because they have gotten exploited by the North and others. This is why the South is depleted. Like, they're struggling. And they're like, all right, well, if I get with Jebediah, at least I can get this Negro. We can work something out. I give him a few extra potatoes and a watermelon, whatever you slewfoot Negroes eat down there. And that's how that was working. So that's what the fusion party is. So in order to sever tie in the fusion party, you got to make the farmer turn against the Black man. So you do that with saying he's going to take your daughter, because this is what the Klan did, and this is what everybody does. This is what the Egyptians, Romans, Greeks, whoever did. Oh no, they're going to come and take our daughters. We must fight. Right?
Yeah.
But for Black History Month, we see all of these fighters and champions that did this. We see the creation of the newspaper and what Wilmington was, and the shining example of Negro rule, if you will. We see Ida B. Wells and her importance once again in this. You see the workings of what Booker T is pushing for this building a nation within a nation, because the question is always asked, well, why we didn't try to do it? Well, Wilmington is an example of what we were trying to do. So we do have Negro towns in other places, but we also were doing this in places like Richmond and Wilmington and other places that we seem to lose sight of. So then, after Civil War or whatever and Reconstruction, and they left the South. No, we were doing this. Now we're talking about getting into the 1900s.
I got to put the newspaper up because they may think we.
What newspaper? What newspaper?
I'm gonna put the link to the Journal of Freemen in the chat for you all. Not to be confused with that other journal from New York. This is the one, the Southern one with the seasoning and the paprika,
and just like Southern,
the garlic salt, the Lowry's.
Just like Southern.
What date is that? What date is that?
It's 1865, brother.
After we were free.
What date is this newspaper? Like what date they made it?
What you mean what date
after
they made
we were free?
Same
What's
year,
the
Lincoln said you could go, guys.
The link
that's the 1865?
Yeah.
Yeah, after Lincoln taught you how to
real Journal of Freedom, not to be confused with the one from the people.
Damn,
Not to
son.
be
That's that's like 30 years late, dog. Shit.
30
Yeah, that's
years late.
after Lincoln said, "Hey guys, learn how to read."
I mean, 30 years late.
Tur.
Oh,
Damn.
this is where they talking about this color convention. I don't know if I shown that before. I got some stuff for y'all. I'm just gonna let y'all know. The Black Yankees have been hating on us Southerners for too long. I have a symbol.
No, Seneb, I need to make this clear because it's Black History Month. My brother, look at the channel and you know this. I have yet to even talk about Brooklyn or New York for that matter. All I did was talk about Philadelphia and the South for damn near 3 or 4 years. So bring it on. If you think I don't got everything about Slewfoot, Tobacco Road, and all that other stuff,
you find a top hat, now your cousin is Slewfoot.
My cousin always been a Slewfoot.
No, he won't Slewfoot when you was down there for the summer.
And then we discovered trains and left.
You were down there eating them sausage sandwiches.
No, they have you on the side of the road selling tomatoes and peaches out of wooden baskets along Route 13. That's what it was, and that's why the South will never rise again. Okay? But it's Black History Month, brother. Let's cheer up. Come on. But seriously, Wilmington, it was the example of, besides like the Muskogees and the Allensworths and the other black towns, this is what we're doing in a pretty major city. And how we're setting up this infrastructure of, having our own institutions. Like you read, we got our newspapers and churches and fraternal orders and schools and that's important to remember. They didn't destroy all of it because Wilmington still rose from that and, has a pretty vibrant black community still. With shoes this time, which is, powerful. The boy said, Michael from Carolina, we can wear shoes now.
Just look at y'all. You two generations away from a pig knuckle juice in your bottle, and now that's how y'all at, yo.
Ain't nothing wrong with some vegan rice.
You ain't eating no vegan rice, yo. You ain't eating anything but egg. What it's called? Just egg. You ain't eating that. Stop playing. You walking right by that and Whole Foods and going right to them good old hen eggs.
No, I'll be eating like egg whites and feta cheese with some spinach, little sun-dried tomatoes, some onions.
I mean, ain't no wrong with sun-dried tomatoes.
No, you got you got shed spread in your refrigerator. Tell the truth.
Ham hock bits in the salad.
You either got shed spread or you got Cracker Barrel. I mean, not Cracker Barrel. What's that? Whatever that.
The Cracker Barrel is like a green zone. Everybody eat there. It's like the saloon where you put your gun up when you walk in. That's the no-fly zone.
Damn. So I just need to know, like, yo,
you know what I'm saying? It's like a demarcation point.
How you just you was that active, like you was in the field like 16 hours a day, in your overalls and that whole thing, singing your songs. How you just end up at the restaurant eating all day?
Because after you get done working in the field, you got to eat.
So you just took the whole field part out.
I know for you, you may want to just go down to your local bodega and get you a chopped cheese or a hoagie.
Yeah, but y'all decided y'all wasn't going to walk
greens,
like
mac and cheese.
Y'all wasn't going to walk no more, Seneb? Is that what it is?
I'm just saying, to do that kind of work, you need some sustenance. You may need you a smothered chicken fried steak, you know what I mean, with some green beans with the little ham hock pieces in it.
Yo, I just want to be for the record and just put it out there for everybody. Dude, my heart is 100% right. My cousins whipped my ass the summer of.
He came down south during the summer.
I'm gonna tell you, 1982. Either 82 or 83. What my ass, Tootie. Never forget it.
Hello, guys.
I hate the sound.
Hello, guys.
No Gunye.
La Calle. I just jumped on. The English professor in
What
the
other?
chat.
What you
You
said?
got
You
a
gonna
misspelled
do, some
word.
people gonna do presentations.
Danny must can't hear me.
Danny, you can't hear Ogun?
Oh no, I can't hear him.
Well, it's okay. Just listen.
Okay,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Wait, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Fix history. Fix the word history. Auntie said it's misspelled. That's why
Black
I jumped off.
History Month. Yo, I just want for the record now, I have nothing to do with scrolling across the bottom of the screen. That was done by a Southerner, and it's exactly proves my point. Who is his Troy? You see? That's some old back porch.
My bad.
Of history.
Go to hell, Daddy. Go to hell, Daddy. Go to
That's
hell.
what I'm trying to say. Like, that would never happen above Mason Dixon.
Go to hell. Good
Like
night, fellas.
history? That's how y'all say it in the back porch?
I'm back to the audience.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna say I changed it to his story. Because you know
now you Kanye.
I changed it to his story.
Uh-oh.
Oh, have mercy.
Not our story, but his story.
Whose story?
We ain't even get to that part yet.
Whose story?
His story.
This is all ours. This is my story.
Man, they told me that we got this from some dude named Melvin Herskovitz.
Oh Lord.
That
for the
we got
last
this
time,
from
please go to the community page, and I put the newspaper article when it was started and saying that the man invented the damn thing. You know what it is? We have February, and this part is coming around, and the whole conscious world has a problem because they have no one that they can point to. So now it becomes a highway robbery of the history of the African American. Seriously, think about it. Like, who are their guys? I keep asking, who's your team? Who you got?
Do we need to do another draft? We may need to do another draft.
There can't be any draft because they have nobody that
like
we want to
who
draft.
is on the side of the non-African American political leader, citizen, individual that existed that spoke something contrary to what the black people we said.
So what's gonna happen?
Josiah Ford.
No, because this is what we get into, and it seems like Rob Warren's gonna really bring it forward to Tazari out the side. He crazy enough to jump out the window on any of these people. Is the whole conscious world is gonna finally see that this is absolutely ridiculous. You're disparaging all of our history, so we'll put it all out there, and you're gonna realize that, well, who's the opposition? No one is standing there. They don't have a history, they don't have a writing, and they don't have a people. What they have is offshoots and things in the margins from our story. Yeah, I know it hurts, but think about it. You have a discussion with any of these people. Hurt. Rob Warren keeps asking, like, okay, we got documents of our people writing for themselves from the 1700s. What you got? What I heard was, and whoa. So you mean it's done at the 1700s? Is anybody listening? The conversation doesn't start with these people until what, 1890 something, 1900? Somebody have a vision or whatever.
I don't think we should entertain that.
No, this doesn't need to be entertained at all. On any level, what I'm trying to say, this is the point where we now go into our holster and pull out all of our heroes, Ida B. Wells and otherwise, and make sure we know our story. There's nothing for you to go sniffing around somewhere else. We have our story and plenty of people that we should be proud of and we should know about. And it's kind of unacceptable that we don't.
No,
This is my story.
That's a good church song.
This is my story.
That's a good church song. But we, I've learned a lot from Clubhouse, and peace to those, the 20 that's in here that's still watching. This is the first of the Black History Month challenge. The bill was called the White Man's Declaration of Independence. We discussed Alderman Waddell's declaration that the mayor, the police chief, other Black leaders were to resign and flee the city or face the penalty of death. And that's led to the coup of Wilmington in 1898.
Yo, can I ask something? Because I heard Rob Warren do it earlier. What Clubhouse has added to social media, which I'm kind of digging, is y'all habitually reset the room now, right? No, I'm not even trying to be funny.
No, I think you do this anyway as like a just public speaking. I think you got to reset any type of.
Oh, you just trying to say now I'm just ignorant, huh?
No, when I went to instructor school in the Army, they asked you have to do like a check on learning, all of it, almost.
Roger that.
Part of the POI.
1 out of 12.
Yeah. But yeah, for those who want to participate, 1 or 2 slide presentation about some Black history, where you're from. We'll put the link in the chat. Let me put it back in here again. Hold on. Because some people, based off my back channel on Clubhouse, are supposed to be coming in here that had opposing views, and I don't see them, but it's all good. I'm used to that. But we shouldn't be in the business of proselytizing, I think, this month. And I mentioned earlier that Ibram X. Kendi mentioned that this year Black History Month should be instructive because, we're facing certain questions about this type of history, questions about how we study this history on different levels. So I think just understanding this type of systematic oppression in ways is beneficial. So hopefully those who came in here got something that you didn't know before.
I got a question. Is it an issue of systematic ignorance at this point? Because some of it seems willful. I like that one. Where is Abraham? The next book I'm going to write is Systematic Ignorance.
Ooh,
and then I'm going to write it in like...
You better pad that, yo. You need to pad that immediately.
Right? I need to pad that, and I'm going to make it kind of like a Shyla, kind of Sewell kind of angle. You know what I mean? It's like a jab at the people type of thing, like Bill Cosby tried to do before they nailed him. Systematic ignorance is what the Black people... Where's Amos Wilson where you need him? Systematic ignorance is what the people is going for, have been suffering from. It's a system of ignorance. And your first step is social media.
Systematic ignorance.
In the chat. How am I too good for Clubhouse? No, I don't.
I mean, I can't be mad at you for not participating in Clubhouse.
You and Rob Bourne have carved a hell of a lane on Clubhouse. And just like you wanted, you've rallied up some new friends in your lunacy. And I'm cool with that.
We don't have no lunacy, bro.
Shout out to the members of the Each One Teach One. That's each the number one, teach the number one Clubhouse room. I think we like 3.4, 3.5 strong. I appreciate all of those. Hopefully,
that's right, man.
Them to sort of come
from
through
the mud, from the mud. You heard?
Just like new Black knowledge. Just like new Black knowledge, we came up out the mud. Each One Teach One came out the mud, and Each One Teach One Clubhouse came out the mud.
So. Are you gonna bring WAC 100 over here too?
What?
I don't know. It seems like he on Clubhouse. Like,
no, we don't.
There's a lot of people on Clubhouse, but
there's a lot of people.
But we sort of there's a niche.
We got our own mother effing sector. You heard?
We got our own segment of the population. We got our own niche.
Like the shade room type of niche. Like what you doing?
No, we got a lot of smart, intellectual individuals who appreciate this kind of history and building. So some of them in here, .ag is here. We appreciate them for coming through.
That's right, Mr. Danny.
So y'all don't have no fights in yet? Nice.
Yeah, we do. We have fights, but we have the most Black doctors in there. That's right, the Black doctors. Well, at least we can call them the ones who are down to earth.
So what's the next presentation, brother?
Who, Monge? Extra Dusters.
I mean, didn't you say you got something lined up for the week? I got a challenge that we can do.
I got the Extra Dusters.
We need to make a I'm gonna tell you how we gonna
No,
do it.
we going to Savannah next week.
You could go to Savannah. I did
You
one
go,
earlier.
I'm going to Savannah next week. We
That's
going
fine.
live from Savannah on y'all.
That's
Oh,
cool.
Lord.
That's cool. What you gonna show us?
What
Some
you got some,
plantations?
like,
We're gonna show
What you gonna show us?
we're gonna
Plantations?
show you where Marcus Garvey come from.
you gonna show us what this old outhouse?
You go. Yeah, you gonna show us?
Hey, first of all, not only is it an outhouse, you can still use it.
What are you gonna show us in Savannah, bro?
Old
You gonna show us the swamp?
We're gonna show you black organization in Savannah, man. I'm gonna show you.
Right on, Chelsea.
Them buildings are still there. You can go touch them still.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't want to see no farms, no pigs.
What you gonna see?
What's wrong with a hog? See, that hog kept you alive for generations.
I don't know about that, brother.
You rather have a hoagie than a hog.
Listen, Seneb, like you said, generations. A generation is normally
son,
29 years.
Mediterranean diets. Now,
I've been. I'm from New York, bro. We from a different tribe. I keep trying to explain that to you, brother. I'm different. Be different, bro. Delineation.
Oh, my bad. I didn't even see y'all talking. What was I? Oh, I was looking at the YouTube.
Peace, Sister CK. What's good?
Yeah, she been jumping on.
Hey, yo, I want to do a room about white producers, yo. I think there's a conspiracy, yo.
White producers.
Yeah, American descendants of hip hop. We need to talk about this.
Why? Because Alchemist and Status Selector is killing them out there.
Harry Fraud.
Status Selector, the whole albums we brought.
I mean, Harry Fraud did a whole Dave East album, and I'm not saying the album was, the lyrics was good, but if you listen to Harry Fraud, all them Coke Boy joints he did, Mac and Cheese, Alchemist, First
Hold on. Before we get to that, CK, you got some Negro stuff you want to talk about?
Yeah, any Negro history.
Negro history stuff. Yeah, I was gonna say I did finish my little slides, but probably why ain't nobody here, Seneb. You keep changing the day that we gonna do it. First you said Wednesday, so I did a post in the Discord server for Wednesday. Then Wednesday come around and you was like, nah, Friday.
I had to take my Palm Pilot, so we're gonna do it Friday. So I took the first one. So next Friday, I think we're gonna have Dr. AG. We're gonna have Brother Khalil.
Okay, so can you do me a favor? So
yo, listen, hold on. Listen, I don't know. I know it's Black History Month, but scamming is also a part of Black history. So I don't understand why you guys are giving money to the YouTube. Hit the goddamn Cash App, scam God.
That's why they. Oh man, forget it.
Rob on, what's your joint, man? Is it just Rob on?
Who? What you said? My name?
Is your joint just Rob on?
On where?
On your Cash App.
No, that's just my regular name. They know that. They know that.
Your cash?
My name. But yo, we was having fun, man. I like you missed the bill earlier, yo. We was having fun on here, man.
Yeah,
I missed it, bro.
I mean, I called it on the tail end. I watched it, but I'm familiar with the Black Yankee history.
Nah, you ain't got no comic book like that led to a whole program.
A comic
communities.
Book. I don't need a comic book. I got Burr Rabbit.
Hey, you can help. I mean,
say he got Burr Rabbit.
I got it.
No, you can have all of that. All I'm telling you is this.
You know what I'm saying? So
listen.
I got stuff too, though.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. Let me just show you how powerful this was, because I think you're not understanding, brother.
I watched.
So these are the two, bro. The husband and wife who basically make the doll study that basically reverses the great education problem that we had here. They come together 2 decades later and come and get the youth together to make this specific program that deals with community control in the cities. Not just New York, but it goes all around in the cities. Then you have Neil deGrasse Tyson's father, who makes the goddamn comic to reach the kids. Ooh, you ain't got that over there. You got pig something. Y'all gave us Pigfoot Mary. I don't know where she came from, but she came from somewhere down there. But yeah, I'm sorry, man. That was deep, man. Get Harlem Prep. I mean, I don't know what to say. You can have your, Booker T stuff. That's cute. You can have that. That's fine.
You do realize they
You have
have.
no choice. You have no choice but to acquiesce to the Booker's T stuff.
Okay,
You
okay.
realize they have NC Central, NC A&T, Winston Salem. Them niggas got about 100 colleges now. Ain't nobody got no shoes on, but they do got about 100 colleges.
Yeah, they got a
How
whole
can
bunch.
people
I'll give you that.
how can people who have a
Respect.
college don't have shoes on? Come on, man. It's like
No,
I
you
don't
just
know.
you found a train and now you rode the train, so you got to find a way to delineate yourself between those who still ride horses. I get it.
listen. All we trying to say
You
is
telling
that
your nose to spite your face, man.
listen,
y'all
man.
had them shoes on like them hard, them hard bottom,
First
like
of
Easter
all, we
Sunday
can walk.
shoe
We don't
bottom
need to
shoes.
have shoes on all the time because we have grass down here.
You ain't had
You
you ain't
walking
had no.
on
You was
old
wearing them
chewing
Easter Sunday
gum
shoes to
and
school with your
loogies
like.
on the
You
ground.
had the Michael Jordan jeans on
You know
too,
what I'm
like
saying?
some
You
old
can't just walk around your spot with
baggy
socks on.
acid wash,
Come on, yo.
boot cut acid wash with
I
them
learned from a
hard
sister
bottom
on
Easter
Clubhouse
shoes
that
on.
y'all
That's how
don't
you
have
was doing in school.
backyards. You gotta ask permission.
Yo,
to go into the
Seneb,
backyard.
And a
I
knockoff
don't
Fubu
need
shirt.
to. I don't need to cut your wisdom. But Seneb, can you put that link in the chat again? The
All right.
link with the that's the title of this. That's the title of that. Put that in there. The link that's the title to this, because that's deep, yo.
Which link?
The one that's the name of the title.
Oh, the White Man's Declaration of Independence. Got you.
Yeah. Put that in there, bro. That's crazy, bro.
Yo, I thought you had it already, to be honest with you, because you had the Democratic handbook.
No, I got it. It's just I think people because we talking about something else. I don't want them to miss it. And I'm on my phone, so if I go out of here, it's gonna kick me
I'm
out.
about to share it real quick for
They
everybody.
need that.
Seneb, your high school wore LA Gas, right?
My grandfather wore LA Gives. Keep it a buck, rest in peace. He wore LA
Because
Gives.
it's the same website, yo.
It is. Hey, that site is connect. I got a connection over there, but it's between them and John Hope Franklin, Little Joint. Man, it's not Little Joint. Excuse me. His corpus is, man. Y'all would never hit me with what Danny did to me ever again. Ever again. I gotta stay on top of this stuff, yo.
Don't worry about it, bro. He sent me out half information up too.
Yo, he did it the next day. Yo,
bro,
Rob Bourne, he did it the next day. I hit like 600. I hit like 650. I like, yeah, I'm good. Here come him. Okay, that's how. I'm gonna read this real quick for those who didn't get it.
Yeah.
But it's the White Man's Declaration of Independence. This is what Alderman Waddell read in the meeting the meeting before the riot. It says on November 9th, 1898, a meeting at the best white citizens of Wilmington was held at the courthouse. At the meeting, Waddell read the White Man's Declaration of Independence, which called for the expulsion of the editor manually and his printing press. The News and Observer and Richmond's Planet took vastly different approaches to the stories of the event. The News and Observer on November 10th listed the resolutions that had agreed to at the meeting held the prior day. Resolution number 7 claimed that the editor Manley's article would have, in most communities, have resulted in the lynching of the editor. Cool. We're gonna go to the primary. So here, let me back out. So pause. So this is the news article here from the News and Observer. This is Thursday, the morning of November 10th. The expulsion of Manley and resignations of the mayor and police chief, other black leaders. Time for Negro domination forever passed, though they are to be treated with justice and consideration, white labor favored. You want me to read the whole thing? We're gonna do this. I don't know if everybody caught it. But it says there was a mass meeting of the businessmen of Wilmington today, attended by fully 800 of the best white citizens, at which the following resolutions were adopted. Believing that the Constitution of the United States contemplated a government to be carried on by an enlightened people, believing that its framers did not anticipate the enfranchisement of an ignorant population of African origin, and believing that the men of the state of North Carolina who joined or formed the Union did not contemplate for their descendants of subjection to an inferior race. Yo, I'm gonna put this in the chat for y'all.
And once again,
I'll put it in there again.
most people were not reading even half of what you just read. They would scroll up, they would go to that image and look at that image.
I mean, it really, I mean, newspapers are beneficial because it gives you an image into the times. And a lot of these leaders, and the dude, hold on, let me get the book. Hold on.
This is my story. Oh man, Danny. Wait, where's the black? Yo, Danny, this is what I cannot find
Yeah,
this
we gotta
shit.
give you the good, bad, and ugly.
Yo,
Can't
yo, you
find
still
what?
here? You can hear me?
But yeah,
Yeah, we
Yo,
can.
what's the name of that letter that I think it's a part of Ethiopianism, but it's like some kind of prophecy, right? Of a prediction of some dude coming to deal with black people from black people. I know you know what I'm talking about, bro. I just cannot remember the name of
the
it,
one
bro.
that came out around when David Walker's appeal came
Yeah,
out,
yeah, I think yep. What's the name of that?
the Ethiopian Manifesto.
Is that it? And it's talking about this person. Is it that?
Google is your friend.
All right, I'll let the brother keep going. Go ahead, Seneb. Eat the food, man.
Hold on, yo. We'll say, see, y'all, we can't give it all up on the first show, yo.
The
Man,
Cash App is History Man 718. If you feel that you learned anything that you never heard before from what I said, I appreciate all things matter. Since it's Black History Month, I'm gonna go to Amazon and I'm gonna try to get some more Black people books with any money that's donated for the cause. What you were saying?
He's a goddamn liar. He gonna go buy some Delta 10.
Nah, I just got hit off with some shrooms. I've been microdosing for a minute. I don't even know
Okay, that's too much information.
Boy, I shroom and I'm damn proud
Hey,
of
yo,
it.
bro. They sent me yo. We gotta file Cash App for tax. God damn, bro. We gotta
All right.
put the Cash App for the tax
Well,
form,
I'm
bro.
sorry. My name is not Hassan Campbell. I don't get enough to be filing nobody's taxes. So,
Or it says more than $600. If you got more than $600 a year, you gotta put that thing on that goddamn
well,
tax
like
form,
I
bro.
said, I don't got enough no cash out for no people to begin to file nobody taxes. My channel is each one teach one, not whoever you getting the money shot.
Yeah, all right. I'm just giving you a warning, brother. I'm just
From
here to help.
what? Nothing
Mm.
from nothing leaves nothing.
But go ahead, Seneb.
No, I'm listening to y'all.
All
I
right.
did have a question though.
Oh, go ahead, son.
White
This is
people.
Lordy mercy. It's directed towards Brother True Historian.
Oh
There
shit.
was something that you said earlier. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding it
Mm-hmm.
clearly. When you were talking about how um I don't know if you were referring to just back then or were you referring to nowadays how they don't want to pass a no lynching law. And
Well,
I think I missed the part where you kind of went into detail as to why. Did it have something to do with the filibuster? Them not wanting to outlaw that or
no, not necessarily filibuster. Anything that's going to bring in federal oversight. So now you got federal oversight, like you're going against the government, even if you're a state or local, municipal, county, or whatever. Now you're going against the government's resources, and in a lot of cases, no matter what, they're going to win, and they're going to then probably institute some more oversight. So if you're doing,
so really it's the
less.
states that's pushing back on that.
Yes, this is what Snap was saying with states' rights, and that's coming from initially the Revolutionary War, but more specifically after the Civil War with Reconstruction, what have you. So even today, what they're saying is, yeah, it sounds to us like why wouldn't they pass something that just stopped them from lynching? Because if something might happen to fall under that, then here come the feds.
Yeah, so federal law enforcement would have to investigate that once it
Right,
starts violating federal laws. Got
right.
you.
That's
Okay,
that's
okay.
that's the motivation behind them. Keep pushing. And a lot of people don't get that. They think like, no, they're not being evil just because they're being evil because that's them still hearkening back to the Civil War and who is going to control the Negroes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Copy.
mean? So, Florida would never do that, and Alabama would never do that, and these places that are making bazillions off of locking us up. Why would they want federal over? The last thing they want is any federal officials poking around and what they doing to them people in Angola or wherever else. Ashe?
Got you.
Habari Ghani.
Oh, and Seneb, I was gonna say I did put together a couple slides on Franz
Yeah.
Fanon, but I ain't want to ruin what you kind of had going on during this show. It seemed like you had like a
Y'all
whole
could
show
have came up.
dedicated.
That's all good. Next Friday, I'll dedicate it to y'all. Oh, I didn't mean to go that far. But before I forget, the dude who owned the paper at the time was Josephus Daniels. And he sort of what was the guy in New York that
his name is Joe Feces. His name is Joe Feces. He's an Israelite.
What was the
In the
dude
first
from
century.
New York?
Thesis is what you just
Mordecai,
said.
was it Mordecai Noah? That
Yes.
was.
Yeah, Mordecai Noah.
This
That's
reminds
another
me
Israel.
how
That's
he
another
used
Israelite.
the News and Observer to sort of alienate and perpetuate stereotypes against Black people and Black voters in North Carolina and disparage them. It's similar to what in this how they always use the press to sort of depict us in a negative way.
Why? Because the newspaper starts off with something called broadsheets, and I'm not going to go into all of that.
Yeah.
But once again, it's what is reaching the masses, the everyday man. The content, whatever form, has to reach, whether it's song, a newspaper, or whatever. This is where you get things like the penny press and all those things that start to come about, where they make all these just salacious newspapers. And then in order to sell those things, the concept early is you get this look into seedy areas. And at first it was stories about what was going on in the 5 points of various cities amongst the lowlifes. And then that began to sell newspapers. So then eventually that becomes you and, your adventures and crime that they like to put for entertainment. Told you popular culture is a weapon.
Indeed.
We gotta keep remembering, most of these people can't read, man. Songs
most
and
of these
images.
people are just ignorant and are, unfortunately able to be persuaded in ways that's salubrious to Black people.
Songs, images, myths.
So
That's
what the
how
hell
they
is
use it.
wrong with people now that they can read, bro?
What's
I
wrong
think
with
it's
it is
conscientious ignorance.
No, what happens is you saw like with the farmer's daughter or the coon, those stereotypes and stock characters become descriptions. They ascribe, they put those things on you, and they have now become descriptions of you. So when they see you, they already come with a set of preconceived ideas about you, due to this program that has been centuries in the making, and it's still being in popular culture. Like I say, just pick up tomorrow's newspaper.
That's why I told you that we have been manufactured.
Yes, you have.
That's the point. Y'all cool is real, y'all. Black History blip. Woohoo!
And the worst thing,
Brother Robborn, people are requesting that you give us a poem, sir.
I ain't doing no poem now. I'm outside. I gotta go look through my notes.
You gotta
drop some bars.
Nah, I'll give you some bars for the Black History Month. I got no problem with it. I got some fire shit too, some mirror, this joint mirror. That's lit. But yeah, man. Yeah, Danny. No, I'm not. I got books of poems. I'm not lying.
I bet you can't tell me one right now.
I can't remember. I gotta look at them.
Exactly. All of them so how you got books of poems and you can't remember?
Bro, listen. Them shits. Bro, listen. Bro, the last poem I did was 5 minutes long, bro. My things are like that.
You can't remember. You can't remember.
Nah, I can't remember them all together. I gotta look at it. Once I look at it and say it.
For one.
Listen. All of my poems are like that, bro. But anyway, let's get back to the business. Listen, don't try to change the subject. You know where I'm going here. So listen.
And then you ran.
And you ran. And Danny is running. I mean, listen, man. I mean, it tells us that the devil was manufactured on the island of Pelon. And they ask you, you know what I'm saying, what was his first laws for manufacturing the devil? You know what I'm saying? So when you look at them laws, it says that you got to do something in there. You got to separate. You got to separate some people, man. So they separated from us from our true selves
What
and
was
put an
our true
image, bro.
selves?
Our true selves was the people of African descent. So they took those tribes away from you. You don't know who those are. They gave you a new name. They gave you a new language. They gave you a new God. And when they did this, they now put forward, once they understood freedom was coming because of the black people were fighting, now they had to create an image to prepare for your freedom. And now you have accepted this freedom and you have been a manufactured devil. You have now become the black brute. That's the image, right? The
No, that
gangster.
black brute. No, that black brute was there because you started going to the cities. That black brute didn't exist because
Woo!
you were a happy slave in the South. It's only when you became free and then when you went to the cities did the black brute come about. He didn't come about until the 1880s.
Yeah, so you co-signing what I'm saying, brother. I'm saying once this freedom comes about, then you become this because it's an anticipation of the fear.
No, once you start migrating, you become a threat. You was free and they could still reign of terror, so yeah, it's there. But once you start migrating, which is around the same time, then that's the motivation for the happy slave. Is no longer a slave now. He's lazy and he's also a threat.
Listen, you're gonna listen to the white man's Declaration of Independence. So now let me get back to this. So in that lesson, it has doctors, ministers, nurses, and cremators. Who are the doctors? The doctors are the educated class. Those are the people who prescribe the ideas of blackness and what it represents, right? Who are the ministers? The ministers are those people who you have just been talking about and who Seneb had just been talking about, who drew these pictures and these elaborate art forms. These, how you say the word? Caricatures, how you say it? Somebody help me.
Caricatures.
There you go. Caricatures of these promiscuous.
Caricatures.
Yeah, you got it. You know what I'm saying. With these promiscuous women, got the black woman bent
Promiscuous.
over. Yes, you got me. You with me. You rocking with me. They called her Jezebel. Am I right? Am I right? Did they call the black
That
woman
was
the
one of
Jezebel?
the names.
That's right.
Sapphire.
That's
Plenty.
right. And then you have the nurses, right? So the nurses are those individuals who could be black and white, who carry on some of this philosophies, who will now become your Uncle Toms. And then you have the cremators. Who are those people? These are the people who are dumb, deaf, and blind upon the white class, who you said who was ignorant, who look at all of these things and they put it into activation and they kill the black man. Those are the mobocracy. Those are the people who come to storm. Those are the people who say it's Negro rule. We got to stop the niggas.
Yeah,
They
it sound
free.
like
They're
you
gonna
might need
take
some
over.
shrooms too, brother.
I'm just trying to help you, brother. This is Black History Month. I'm just going according to the sermon that I heard today. And when I heard this great sermon you guys gave today, it made me remember the 28th degree and the 140. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
microdosing to clear that right on out. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you a little piece of the stem. I won't give you no cap.
Scam God, hit the cash app.
I'm trying to tell you, son. Microdosing get you right.
Come on, son. You know I'm on to something. I'm
Yeah,
on to
you
something.
want something. You right about that, brother. You want something. But there's it's Black History Month. That's all. So, are you gonna plan on doing anything else for this?
What we on right now?
No,
Well,
no,
right
no,
now?
no. Just in general.
Nah, I want to go. There's some more points I want to go over in the extra dusters.
Okay.
And I redid that Rikers Island thing. I did it on the on Clubhouse, and I was reading more, and I was like, this goddamn Danny. So I'm reading, and I'm like, wait a minute. There's two regiments, the 20 and the 26th Regiment of the Civil War was trained on Rikers Island.
On Rikers Island, it was Blackwell's Island and a few other ones. You didn't ask.
I don't know. Listen, I'm reading this and I'm like,
Oh, you
oh
thought
wow,
Rikers
this.
Island only came up when they decided to put a jail there?
No, I knew that. I knew about Abraham Lincoln. I saw that in the book. I seen that. I peeped that, but I'm like, yeah, all right, I got that, and I'm like, oh shit. So not only did you put your kids over there or the people over there on that bad boy, you then had the people years later fighting for their freedom training there, and then you turn around, turn it to a Confederate prison, and then you put us in there under the same name, under the same guidelines of these niggas is out here running crazy because we the niggas that are bringing the drugs in here. And yeah, we know that you sell crack and we're going to give you a little more time. And I'm like, God damn. It's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I'm just saying.
Seneb, you awake? I mean,
yeah, he awake. We not letting you do this bullshit no more. We reading.
He probably got to put the horses in a stable or some more wild shit he be doing. But I was gonna ask that could you guys do something on Black women, because I just feel Black women is getting left out again, and I know it's early in the Negro season, but I just want to make sure we get enough Black women that we don't talk about. Please don't tell the obvious ones. So we
I
can
have
have
a
it.
couple. I have a
Oh, you know
couple
some
for
Black women? That's cool.
yeah, I
Cool.
got a couple for the Black scientists. If and only if my team ever decides to do anything on Black History Month, I got a 3 in the chamber.
Well, then you're welcome to do it here whenever you want. I don't care. I just need some Black women. I don't mean it like that. I mean I always need some Black women. Shit, I'm single, but you know what I'm saying. Um, yes, I need some of your Negro tribe women who did stuff because I could do it, but you know, no, I need some women to do it. I would like some women to do it. Do you agree?
Yeah, what happened? I'm back now.
So, Sinat, what I'm asking you to is when you look into your Southern history, could you bring us some Black women of this? Matter of fact, thank
Black
you. Could you
women?
bring us some Black women of the South? Because we always pull up the Garnets and everybody from Philly and New York. Where are the Black women of the South? Besides Ida B. and
Hold on,
Mary McLeod.
let me get you somebody right now. Hold up.
Thank you. Could you please share some Black women of the South? And if you pull up Harriet Tubman, I'm going to break my machine.
Why would you break your machine?
Because I don't want to hear Harriet Tubman or Rosa Parks or Mary McLeod Bethune. Well, yeah, a lot of people don't know her, so she needs some light.
What about A Voice of the South by Anna Julia Cooper?
Anna Julia Cooper is very important. Why is Anna Julia Cooper important? Could you read
So
what
where's
she
Dr.
is?
AG?
Exactly. So that's part. Now all the deltas can stand up, and because that Cooper name is going to lead us to other stuff as well. So why is that? Who does she have Wikipedia?
Yeah, I'm about to go to Wikipedia now. There we go. Anna Julia Haywood Cooper was an American author, educator, sociologist, speaker, Black liberation activist, and one of the most prominent African American scholars in U.S. history. Born into slavery in 1858, Cooper went on to receive a world-class education and claim power and prestige in academic and social circles. In 1924, she received a PhD in history from Sorbonne University in Paris.
She got a what?
Her PhD in history.
So that would be Dr.
Anna Julia Cooper.
Okay.
Dr. Cooper became the fourth African-American woman to earn a doctoral degree. She was also a prominent member of Washington, D.C.'s African-American community and a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Oh, she's an AKA. I thought she was
AKA.
My bad.
But I think importantly, her voice from the South, a Black woman of the South, is widely acknowledged as one of the first articulations of Black feminism, giving Cooper the often used title, Mother of Black Feminism. Where Dr. AG at?
Okay, so we got Anna and Julia Cooper, right? Good. I like where this is going. I need about 10 more Black women, this is. that once again, no Harriet, don't you pull Rosa off that damn bus. And don't try to get slick and throw Coretta in there. I need some new people that people don't know about or may not know about. Put it that way. Yes, can you Negroes get that together for me?
You asking me?
I'm asking all the people who are melanated.
I've already did a presentation. First and foremost, she deserves to be brought up anytime we build. But I brought up Anna Julia Cooper years ago, bro.
Yeah, no, I was just saying.
Back when I got you on tape saying that it wasn't blacks in New York that made New York, New York. That it was black people coming from the South that made
Brother,
New York,
I want to make sure that I'm not.
I got you on tape video. Don't worry about it.
The female Negro haplogroup all-star names are put out there. So during Black History Month, people won't go to Old Reliable and start reading more about Rosa Parks or something like that and know that there were other people besides Rosa and Harriet. Yep, sure was.
Who's slandering Rosa Parks? I missed it.
No, I'm not even slandering. I'm just, Rosa Parks can take a rest for 2022. It's not going to do no harm to her legacy if you don't mention her. Give somebody else some name. Give me Elizabeth Jennings. Give it to people somebody else. It's like we're doing a disservice if we don't mention Rosa Parks during Civil Rights Month and Harriet Tubman every damn. They should have some type of mention, but it shouldn't be the emphasis. There's a whole bunch of people. Shoot. Will somebody please do something for Octavius Cato one of these goddamn Black History Months?
I put John C. Bowers on the community.
There you go. I'll take John C. Bowers. I'll take that.
Where Philadelphia at? I don't know where Philadelphia went. But
you got all these people in Louisiana, all in the state. Where is the South people at? The deep South.
I did a whole joint on them.
Yeah, can somebody please come on here and show us all them black folks doing shit and stuff in Louisiana and all this? Like, do I have to do it too?
I think you should participate. I think you should lead the charge.
No, I ain't participating. Well, how Rob want to say that word for me? Hell no, I'm not doing that.
Each one teach one.
Nah, nigga. Each Bama teach a Bama. Grab a banana and your nana and learn, nigga. You like that. I be freestyling when I be
You attempted something.
Bars.
Shoot, man, I put the link in the chat. I don't think nobody gonna come in. But the word is out. So next Friday, 9:00, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump on Clubhouse first, like I did tonight. For those who's on Clubhouse with me, thank you for coming by. And then we're gonna bring it to YouTube and do this again next week. So
yeah, I'll save mine for next week.
Wait a minute.
Who that?
AG is in the building.
Hey, Queen.
Peace.
Habari Ghani.
Hey.
What's going on?
Yep.
Do you want to wait till next week?
Yeah, I can wait. I can wait. Today is Rosa Parks' birthday. I would say.
Oh, damn.
Happy birthday, Rosa.
Happy birthday, Rosa Parks. I didn't mean to say it on your birthday. My bad. Damn. Thank you for making. See, of all people, of course, the doctor gonna come in here and just make. Well, actually, damn.
See, that's being managed down south. That's what we call that. You being managed.
All right, y'all. We can put Rosa up for another 12 hours.
Yeah, we're gonna have a black draft Sunday. So what I want, I'm putting the word out now. I want all of you who are a part of those other persuasions, whatever they may be, bring your black people or who you say are black people, and we're gonna have a black people draft. And we want to know, who do you have on your team?
And you're gonna find out that everything relating to quote unquote consciousness is just ridiculous because they don't have a team.
Yeah, so we want to get the team. We want to have a draft. So if you're interested, come by Sunday. I'm gonna put the advertisement on YouTube. We're gonna do it. We know what we may do it on Clubhouse. I want to know.
What you should do is make it more interesting and show us your women.
Show us the what?
Show us your women.
I got all the women.
That's what I'm saying. We have all of the women. Just tell us, show us your women.
Talk.
You know, I'm not talking about no salacious way. I'm talking about really, like we have a whole,
not no, chauvinistic way, but we want to see Dr. Anna Julia Cooper.
There you go. Now that's where I'm going. Your Sarah Allens and this one and that one. That's
Mary Church Terrell.
Your Maria Stewarts.
There you go.
It's Mariah.
Thank you, Dr. AG. Mariah Stewarts. Your Mary Ann Pointer Merritt.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm asking. Can we spend the next 24, 48 hours? Can we just pull out all the black women and it's time? That's the ace that never gets pulled out.
What happened to me?
Okay.
We can hear you.
You can give Rosa Parks another 12 hours, but she's got to go back in.
We're going to give another 12 hours, then we're going to at least talk about Elizabeth Jennings.
Yes, thank you. And I'd like to say, Hotep, to all those who've been listening, I thank you for your little Black Coalition collective group you had this evening. And bid your adieu.
Oh, Dr. AG fell out.
Oh, no. Why is this?
You went here twice, Dr. AG. But what we got in here? 29 in here. I appreciate y'all for coming through. If anybody from a Clubhouse, thank you for coming by. If you haven't yet, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you'll be notified when we go live next Friday, 9 p.m. We're going live again for the Black History Month Challenge. Again, that's a 1 or 2 slide presentation about Black history, where you're from. And we'll put the link in the chat and we can build. Tomorrow, Sunday, we're going to have the Black Draft. So we want to get these teams together. So we want the individuals that you suggest are Black and they're going to be on your team. So I want to see everybody there. The Discord link is in the chat. Peace to the brothers, Yehudi, Ogun, Chauncey, CK, Vayasa, JB. Hold on. Who else we got here? Tamika, Mongo Slide. What you got, Dr. AG? You still there? I don't know. She may. I don't know if you can hear me, Dr. AG. But is there any questions in the chat? I know we've been on for 2.5 hours. It's a Friday night. I don't want to hold y'all. I'm pretty sure you got other stuff to do. Some back to the bone. Peace, that work. Peace to you, brother. Good to see you around. Peace to Dr. AG's gone. Peace to Dr. AG. Again, thanks to those that came by. Please join us next week for another iteration of the Black History Month Challenge. I hope you have your presentations together. Hope you have your information together. Please share this show. If you haven't yet, check us out on Facebook. The groups are MBK Social Group, New Black Knowledge YouTube group, as well as Each One Teach One. That's each the number one, teach the number one. Follow those groups. Check out our community page. A lot of the information, I'm already starting to put it there now from what we discussed tonight. If you're on Clubhouse, I think they allow people with those Android phone thingies now to be on Clubhouse, so there's no excuse. So come check us out on Clubhouse, Each One Teach One. We appreciate the members of our group. We appreciate those who are the loyal ones that come through and kick us with it regularly. And we're going to continue. So thank you all. If nothing else, we're going to get up out of here. Be safe. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Be safe and stay dangerous. Peace.
Peace.